Why does Matthew sitting there look like the dark side?
Welcome into the Upstate Pulse on a beautiful Saturday. Really surprised that it is a beautiful Saturday because it could have been so much worse with Hurricane Ian blowing through, and blow it did. But I don't think, at least in this area, although I've been on vacation, so I don't know for sure, that it did as much damage as it could have done. Hopefully you're safe. Hopefully you're not like I was for most of yesterday, sitting there underneath 40-foot trees, watching them move, hearing them talk. The trees talking, saying, "You're going to die."
Were they talking
You're
or were they
going to
screaming?
die. You're going to die. And I didn't. So, there's that. So sometimes you think of your choices of home, and yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's shady, but when the wind blows, it can be a little scary. Especially when one of those trees is an acorn tree. Now, I did take a risk.
Look out.
I did take a risk because, as is my tradition, and if you follow me on social media, which is Lonzo and Word, you will see on Facebook and Twitter that I always go out, hit the hammock with some reading material from our fine sponsor, Borderlands Comics and Games, which we'll get to in a moment. If you're on stream, you already know why we're going to get to that. But as I'm lying there on the hammock, reading, catching up on my books, because I will let the stack accumulate to about 10 to 15 books, and then I will sit there and read, put them in order. That way I can, it's like binge watching to a degree. That way I don't have to wait to find out what happened. And so I did that. And then I started thinking, as the acorns started falling, this was before the hurricane, because I would not sit that. I'm not that dumb. So as the acorns start hitting the ground, I started thinking maybe I should get up. And it's like, nah, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm just going to lay here and read my books, and hopefully I won't get pelted, and I didn't. So it's good to be back in studio because I've been on vacation all week. It's one of those vacations where you just don't do anything and where you laugh because Tim had to work, like 12 hours a day every day.
You know what? I'm glad that you thought that was funny. I'm really glad.
Your paycheck will be all right. So, I mean, there is that. If this is the first time you listen to the show,
I love how your excuses, you'll be compensated.
Yes, you will. If this is your first time listening to the show, you may wonder, why is Lonzo only talking about himself? Because I can. That's why. And but I'm not alone, and no one else on this show will talk about themselves as much as me, except for maybe Matthew. Matthew really loves himself.
I do. I'm amazing.
Yes.
He does hug himself when we're not looking.
We're already getting
that's secrets.
Yeah, we're already getting some. Looks like. By the way, we are on Facebook at 106.3 WORD, on the Upstate Pulse, on my personal page, Lonzo and Word, also on Twitter at the same thing. We're also on Twitch and YouTube at the Upstate Pulse. Takes a breath. And we also are on Cameron, who is with us today. Say hello, Cameron.
Hi.
And
we're on me?
Yes, we are on. You are carrying us on your shoulders right now. Your broad, I'm not going to use the word that we talked about.
Yeah.
Lumbering shoulders.
Not lumbering.
Yes, it is lumbering.
Look, we're not going to bring this onto the air.
Oh, we are definitely bring this onto the air. So you can get Cameron
sacred,
on his YouTube page. Life is Show Prep. Cameron's YouTube page is Dragon Pudding. And you can get Tim on his, what did we go? Did we go Twitch or did we go?
Looks like it's Twitch.
It looked like we went Twitch for Headshot Tim.
Yep.
So there you go. There are all the ways you can get to us, including this one. 71307 is our text line. And Tim is reading the text today. When Matthew's reading the text, he skips stuff. I know he's going to say he doesn't, but I know he does. I know he skips stuff. Tim's not going to skip anything. He's just going to read everything.
I'm not. Texter writes, oh, goodness gracious. That just came out of nowhere.
All right. I'll give you a moment to proofread. Also, join Matthew, the
first texter says, hey guys, shout out to Kid Placid.
Oh, there we go. Matthew, the voice of news, one of the voices of news. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, one of four voices of news.
Yeah, because we know that Roger's really the voice of news. No, that would be Lee Rogers.
Is it a news hydra?
It is a four-headed hydra. It absolutely is. They do a great job. So you can hear Matthew during the week reporting on the news, giving you the latest traffic and all that kind of stuff. And also joining us is our sponsor, our friend, the guy who's about to be really busy next week, as if he wasn't busy already this week. That would be Rod Young from Borderlands Comics and Games and South Carolina Comic Con and South Carolina Comic Con Jr.
Wow. That's a heck of an intro, man.
It really is.
That was kind of awesome. Yeah, things going good, pretty crazy, like we were talking about. It's actually going to be way more crazy than next week. So we've got exactly what I guess would we say 7 or 8 days, depends on how you count it. I guess till SC Comicon.
This day's kind of over. So
7.5.
So this time
7.5.
next week we'll be looking over at South Carolina Comicon Junior. Just be right over there.
Will. So I've got an announcement to make today, and I guess we'll probably talk about it some more during the show, but I want to knock it out because
What? Wait. No tease? We're famous for teases. You just look.
you want to tease it?
No. Rob, straight to business. You go right ahead.
You know me. I'm always straight to
There
business.
we go.
Yes, sir.
So there's been a question that you ask me every time I've been on this show.
Oh. Ooh. We have a date?
I don't really want to go out with you that bad, Lonzo, but
Why not? I'm a great guy, man.
Well, especially since
you're.
you're not into the
Yes.
whole foreplay thing.
so how about this?
I'm not a heavy spender because radio.
I'll tell a very quick story, but I'm looking at a big role playing game collection in Atlanta on Friday, and I get a text from my contractor that we now have a CO
Ooh.
and that we are good to go. We are greenlit to move in.
Nice.
So we drove back today. We plan on having a grand opening date announcement officially at SC Comicon Junior.
Sweet.
Is where we will be making that announcement.
Oh,
But
So
suffice it to say, it's very soon.
now I got to figure out, my best way to get there every Tuesday when I come to get my DC comics because DC's better, even though Tim hates DC.
That whole 4,900 feet difference from where we're located currly. But
I love the shoe.
You
company.
don't understand how I get lost. No, it's an easy venue to get to, but I get lost. I do.
It's an amazing talent.
It is.
If anybody's watched One Piece, he is Zorro.
I am
essentially,
Zorro,
as far as
without a
directions
doubt.
go.
Without a doubt, that's me.
He will find a way. He will make himself get lost. We will be on the right track, and he will try to go right on that exit.
Is he one of those
that
people?
leads in the opposite direction?
Only
where
in
we need to
only
go.
in South Carolina though. I don't get
Is he
lost
one
in
of those
Ohio.
people that when you're in the store with them, you're just walking and then you turn around there, then he's just gone?
No, that's not me. In a store, I'm very efficient.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to work in grocery, and I hate loiters. The people who are just
Is it loiters or is it loiters?
Loiters?
it's
Explain this
it's
to
loiters,
us.
loitering.
Loitering. So you don't
Yeah,
like people to come in and
Really
just look?
southern
What-
there. You
what
know,
you
the
used to
dadgum
do-
Loiters?
What you used to do as a skateboarder.
That's not loitering.
It is.
That's not loitering.
it's
It's
endangering pedestrians.
All right, let's ask Rob.
So does loitering just really tick off old people?
All right, we have
is
we
that
have
the thing?
a
I
not
think it
only a
is.
business owner, but we have a store owner here who probably understands what loitering is. Rob, what's loitering?
I mean, hanging out when doing nothing.
Yeah, it's different for you though. If people are just
That's
hanging
kind
out
of
there,
part of
yeah, it's
what
kind
our
of,
I was gonna say that's
place
part
is.
of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We're
We're
little
gonna
stick.
loiter a little bit. Hang out and enjoy yourself.
It definitely
Please
is.
loiter.
And you know what? You're going to have a whole lot more space to hang out on. Very
About
soon.
16,000 square feet.
That's a lot.
nice.
Wow.
That's
of
a
feet.
lot.
That's
It's,
a lot of
it's
feet.
insane. We have so much to do.
It's a lot of
Um,
squares, man.
And we've already started a lot of the official planning. We had outlines, but truck rentals and all kinds of other stuff have to happen. And we've got a bunch of great people that are wanting to participate in the move. So now we've got to get the dates to them this week so they can try to get their vacation. And it's going to be pretty nuts. We're hoping to only be closed for a Sunday. And,
That's a lot to move in one day.
Yeah.
We'll be
It
moving
is.
for like a week before.
Like moving the
All the
warehouse
back
and
room stuff,
Yeah,
I
moving all
assume.
kinds of
Yeah.
stuff, right? All the gaming tables and stuff in the back, and things will be moving. And then we'll be open that Saturday, and then close up, and then that Saturday and Sunday we'll finish the move is our hope, and go from there.
So you don't have any experience in this as far as I know. What's it going to be like turning that key for the last time in the old building?
So I was working at Borderlands when it moved twice.
Okay.
Moved from the old spot, which is now a computer store over there on Lawrence, 2 spots to the right, and then from there into the current location. So oddly enough, even though I was gone a long time, I think 12 or 13 years, I was officially out of the industry other than doing cons and stuff. It's going to be a little bittersweet, but after this long of a lead in, mean, you're ready for it.
Yeah, it
would
has
imagine.
been a while with COVID and everything that's happened. By the way, Wayne on the stream says when I order around Borderlands, I'll end up buying more stuff every time.
Yeah, that's a problem I've had in the past. People go, what do you mean? It's like, well, yeah, you don't think I load around and look at stuff, and I think when I need to get going, and oh god, that graphic novel looks awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Something
need to
just
read that.
catches your eye, and it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I need to go ahead and get that
I've
while
been
I'm
meaning
here.
to read that.
Yeah.
That's me with D&D minis.
It's
You
like,
can
I don't
never
need
have
that
too many
yet.
movies.
I don't need that yet.
No such
Okay,
thing
maybe
as
I
too
should just
many.
go ahead and prepare.
That's me at Guitar Center.
All right. So you talked about how much bigger it is. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want you to talk about what all new stuff you're going to have. And because we talked about it before, but it's been a while while we've been waiting, while you've been waiting. So
Yeah,
I'd love to hear about, what you got and where it's going to go, if you know where it's going to go.
I do.
Ooh, cool. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD, continuing on live during the break on all of our social media. It's way too many. It would take me a break to tell you how many. Just find us, Upstate Pulse.
So hurt that you're not going to use my line.
What did I miss? If you have to tell me,
It
then
just still it just sounds cool. The many roads that lead to Pulse.
That sure is
Doesn't that sound cool?
Hey, do you know what I found out? So trademarks, guys, are a very interesting thing. Trademarks are used and have very specific uses for the trademark that you can have.
Mhm.
So there is a phrase that is trademarked to a fast food franchise that may concern me. Make a run for the border is only trademarked for restaurants.
Huh.
Ooh.
I had just clicked on Google Chrome, so it's taking a
That
second.
could come in handy.
Hello
So
to
what you're
everybody
saying-
on the stream.
so what you're saying is you're gonna start in a
hello
restaurant
Chris,
chain?
hello Joker, hello
Since it's
Todd,
trademarked
hello
for that,
Wayne.
Yeah.
That would be stupid because I would get sued.
Okay.
So we understand no business advice from Cameron.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So it's the opposite. So as long as it's not part of a
Yes,
for
yes.
restaurants.
It's trademarked for restaurants by Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And,
Gotcha.
but it's not trademarked for retail businesses.
Okay, that's awesome.
See, I didn't know that trademarks work that way. Is it a thing where they didn't think about trademarking it for all businesses?
Well, I don't think you can. I think some of it gets
are like
it-
you have to trademark them to very specific
to what you're
things.
going to
Okay.
use it for. So you just don't get to say nobody can ever use this in any business. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to protect you using it for your business.
So could you trademark that for specifically comic or for retail?
Yes.
Okay. So how many different catchphrases as far as like to your knowledge, how many catchphrases have been segmented to different portions
Oh,
of
I mean,
commerce?
How many trademarks are out there? I mean, it's
Millions.
oh god,
if
it's
not more.
insane how many. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Definitely something I never thought about.
Can you hear
before.
me now? That's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh my
Cameron's
god.
like, what? Well, you're right here. Yeah, I can hear you.
Shut up.
You're just like, you're like
And that-
2 feet away,
And
dude.
that guy had a non-compete for a while.
Yeah. And then he ended up at the other
And he
company.
ended up at Sprint.
Yeah.
And that check had to be amazing. It's like, gee, what are you going to do for 2 years? I don't know. Verizon has paid me millions of dollars. I think I will find
Can
a
I
way to
read that?
coast along.
Read what?
Promoting something.
It's a convention. It's in Charlotte. So that would not be competition, right?
What is it?
Tabletop convention.
I just wanted to be sure. You don't want to. Yeah.
You're awesome. No.
No, you're not. You're not.
Oh my gosh. It only
You're all
took
right.
12 hours to
Yeah, I'm
update that
good.
thing.
I'm just tired.
It's old, okay?
Oh my God, I am so shiny.
Dude, what do you look at me?
Shiny.
I should have my
happy
Casper the Friendly Ghost thing.
Hey, look
on.
at my forehead.
I don't know.
Okay.
I
You guys are
still feel like
complaining.
I
You
went
have
out on
color.
the pail.
There's color on you, Lonzo. We do not have color. We are literally binary beings of light. We have ascended on Stargate.
I was going to go with luminous beings we are, but that works too.
the people at the pizza place were staring at me, and it's like, I just want to eat pizza. People staring at because it was a very subdued place. Like, we think business might take place there, business.
Yeah, business.
Talking to Louis there.
Yeah. That kind of business over there.
A lot of whacking going on.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd have said it that way.
Hey, take it how you want to.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Alonzo here, along with T2, with Rob Young, with Cameron, with Matthew. Having fun on a Saturday night. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to be a part of the show, text line is 71307. I believe we have some text.
We do. Well, we got a really long one.
He doesn't have his glasses.
All right, so it's text writes, guys, this year's Mace Tabletop Game Convention in Charlotte will be held November 11-13. So far, we have 300 plus games of all types already on the schedule. This year's con has also been renamed Jeff Con, the final Mace in honor of founder and longtime organizer Jeff Smith, that we sadly lost to cancer, rest in peace, earlier this year. He was an avid gamer, a great human being, and a good friend. For more information, search for Jeff Con 2022 on the web or Facebook. Scott, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. We apologize for the fragmented reading. Part of it got split up and Tim's not wearing his glasses.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right. On the stream real quick, let's see. Chris says, good to see T2 back. Yeah, it is.
Hey, thank you.
It's good for me because I have to do less work.
It's great.
I like less work.
Well, it's great to be back, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No, we did miss him kind of a little bit. All right. We missed him a lot. Chris also wants to know how my vacation was. It was very not stressful. What's the opposite of stress?
Relaxing.
Yeah, all those things that you guys all said at once,
bro.
It's all those things. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, so
that's a good synonym.
So it was fun, and I'm looking forward to getting back to work as I am today. Couldn't wait to get in here and have some fun, especially to talk with Rob Young from Borderlands Comics and Games, South Carolina Comic-Con, South Carolina Comic-Con Junior, and a store that's about to open. So in this
Super
store,
excited.
in this huge, big, really like humongous store
with lots of squares.
What else are you bringing aside from comic books? Because it's a comic book store and it also has games and stuff. So what else are we having there?
A lot of things have changed and evolved. So, our policy of kind of buying anything geeky has led us down some roads that we haven't been in the past, really, because there hadn't been room, right? As big as our store is, it's full. So we've been buying vintage toys and just sitting on them.
Not literally. You mean it's just in the warehouse?
I mean, it just depends. I mean, if it's a big enough, like Millennium Falcon box, we could.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Cop a squat on a Millennium Falcon if you wanted to.
Maybe
I guess
a Batman riding toy or something.
Yeah. So tons of vintage toys, and I make the Millennium Falcon jokes. I think we have multiple of the original Millennium Falcons.
All right, so
70s.
how old does it have to be before you consider it vintage?
That's interesting because it's either a used or an open toy, or it's vintage, and somebody out there has probably put some kind of arbitrary number on it.
It's like, what's classic rock? I mean, is there actually a number?
There's
for
things
it?
I've heard that I'm like, that would be an instant classic to me, because that's how ESPN did it. Once they had ESPN Classic, they would anoint an amazing event, an instant classic, and then they could air it on ESPN Classic. So I think really it's just something from one's childhood. I think it becomes a personal thing. But most of it's going to be older toys, 70s, 80s, 90s, some early 2000s, obviously, depends on what gets traded in. And then vintage video games going all the way back to Atari. So that's almost the beginning.
Wow.
And then we have tons of Japanese video games that we had a resource for, and expanding the manga and anime sections, and also, I should say manga sections, and then adding a ton more Japanese products. So that could be bag statues, box statues, the food we experimented with.
I was going to ask
Kit Kats.
you. Yeah.
They were just a tad bit of a huge hit.
Matthew missed out on that.
I did miss out on that.
Matthew, I'm sorry. We'll try to fix that when we get another shipment in.
Oh, I look forward to it.
They are fantastic.
They
and
were
we
good.
are moving into cooler weather, so it's easier to ship them. You can't really
Nice.
ship them in the middle of summer.
I've heard about Japanese Kit Kats for years
Dude,
now.
they are
so
so dope.
It's some kind of wizardry. I don't know what they do, but I think there's some kind of wizardry involved. in
Yeah,
Japanese
you don't
cooking.
expect it when you eat it.
Flavor mancers, they're a thing.
Yeah, you should be jealous, Matthew. You should.
I am.
I think that's a new name. I think Flavor Mancers.
Yeah,
It can have multiple meanings.
Tad bit evil, but you know, it's all right.
alchemy.
I don't know. Does Mancer does
Japanese
Mancer
alchemy.
automatically give it a negative connotation?
Necromancer is what most people.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what
I
I'm
think.
thinking.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I
pyromancer
thought
doesn't necessarily
necromancy-
have to be.
Yeah, well,
necromancy was the
negative.
act of bringing something back to life. I thought that's what necromancy.
Well, that's like the magic. That's like that's death magic and all that stuff to like make skeleton armies and stuff like that.
okay. This
But
got real
hey,
nerdy.
Look,
This
here's the thing.
got
Wow.
In defense of necromancers, they could also bring back the dead to improve, structure around places, like build roads.
And they can also make
make
zombies.
Wait a minute. So you're trying. So you're pro necromancy means you're anti workforce because
I'm not anti-workforce.
That's taking jobs away
Here's
from
the thing.
from
What I
blind
hear is
people.
Here's the
Cameron's
thing.
all about robots taking people's jobs. That's the leap
Yeah.
I'm taking. And he's like,
I,
"This is the
I
invent zombies,
am
that's
about
okay."
efficiency, but not at the expense of the worker. I would like to see people get paid, but you know what? Maybe their life can be a little bit easier on the side.
So like a Pappy Claus zombie apocalypse would be good for you.
The dangerous jobs is what he said. These jobs that have a high risk rate. He thinks necromancers should raise zombies.
Yeah, supplementing, not taking over.
Yeah, if a finger falls in your hamburger or something, it gets ground up. What do you care?
What do you care? Let Louis be a welder. He doesn't have any eyes, man.
Probably not the
He's a
worst thing in your
skeleton.
burger,
He goes by
depending on
feel.
where it's coming from.
All right, so we got video games. We got, you said, expanded manga section. That also would excite Matthew because he's an avid manga reader, right?
I am, yes.
Is there any certain thing that you would like to see in the store, manga wise, that you haven't been able to find? Just curious.
I don't really collect a lot of physical manga. I don't have the space to store it right now, so I can't really collect anything.
Hey, you can store it in here. No one to touch it. No one in here wants to try to read that way.
Just don't wrap it in rings of power tape.
Yeah, because then I'll open it.
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously, there's something cool in here.
All right, so I was disappointed. Okay.
Speaking of which, a texter writes, guys, Charlie James has been finding Nerf darts in the studio.
For how long?
Yes.
He's going to continue to do so because, Rob brought in a rotary gun, and we've since Cameron has expanded his arsenal to a couple more guns, and had my eyes on a couple more myself. So
A pump drum of 40.
it's funny you should say that because in hour number 2, there is a WWE pay-per-view that happens next Saturday at this time. So we're going to be picking next hour for Nerf Wall, which won't happen next week, but happen the following week. And I believe somewhere in there, we actually are going to be playing Radio D&D again. So it may just work out that Rob Brown will also be here, and you guys will have a chance to hopefully get Rob Brown on that wall. I know you want it. We all want. There's no one in this room who does not want to see him. I know I'm speaking for everybody, even Rob Young. But Rob.
Oh no, you're correct on my end.
Yeah,
at
Rob
least.
Brown needs to be on that wall.
It would be very funny.
Yeah, the texters.
Our ears will be
the people in
bleeding,
the
but we'll be
stream,
satisfied.
they really, and when he's on the wall, we bring out the big guns. We bring out the
Mhm.
the stormtrooper gun and the Boba Fett gun.
We bring out the pain.
We do.
I think that's why Tim was out. He was still suffering.
We
Trauma
probably.
from-
Probably. It hurts more than you
Nerf.
think, people.
It hurt my heart more than anything.
All right, so
It's like having a whole bunch of pellets of failure, just hitting you right in the ribs.
Yeah, man.
So as far as gaming tables go, is there going to be like just one area for gaming tables?
Yes,
Whereas
there's a-
now it's kind of spread out through the
Right. The gaming section is completely separate from the rest of the store, although you can access it obviously just by walking through the open doorways. But yeah, we redesigned the gaming tables. We've got brand new ones. They're a little more comfortable, and they're all clear coated and sealed, ready to go. I think the gaming area is going to be really cool. The name of the gaming area, it's actually going to have a name and a sign on it. It's the Howell Morse gaming area. He's a great guy. He gamed there for 20 years, and he passed away from cancer a few years back. And it's something we wanted to do because he's the first guy when I opened the doors the first day I owned it. He was waiting outside. And what he said to me was, "Hi, my name's Howell. And if Stan thinks you're the guy that's going to own this store, I guess we're going to be friends."
That's cool.
Great dude.
Really
So,
cool.
so we're going to do that. And then we've got another thing we're doing. We're doing 2 memory walls. So if you guys have seen a company called Mixed Tiles, where you send them a bunch of pictures, they print them framed like 4x4, 4 inches by 4 inches, and then you kind of make a wall that you can rotate out. So we are asking people to send us pictures of SC Comicon or Borderlands, just their experiences. And we're going to make a bunch of them, put them up in the signing booth / sitting area that folks will be familiar with once they see the shop. Part of that is going to be covered in those. And then where the sign for the gaming area is will be all gaming related. So people playing tournaments and people that have gamed there for years. And so we'll have that up and then be able to rotate those out as well. So if anybody has any pictures, please send them in. And I can't guarantee they'll be up on the first run, but we will be rotating stuff out as we
All right. Where do they need to send them to?
They can send them to us on social media, or they can send them to borderlandscomics@gmail.com.
There you go. Send your pictures. I know that there are a ton of people out there with pictures. I know we've got pictures when we were there, and we see people taking pictures all the time. Really quick question before we take a break. Chris wants to know, will there be any squad leader games?
Well, that depends on whether you want to play it or not. You can bring anything you want and play it.
There you go. Okay. There we
Right.
go.
So, I mean, you can come play whatever you want. We don't have any problems with that. So absolutely.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to get to some other stuff, including we need to talk about Halloween that's coming up pretty soon. And I need to know if everybody's got their costume ready. They got time to be thinking about it. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
I say a buddy of mine has been, he and I have been talking back and forth about.
Thank you for doing that, Tim.
Into a Warhammer Kill Team.
Tim just put out your the Gmail on all the social media. So
Thank you.
go ahead, Cameron.
So I might be sampling some of your game tables at some point.
I
Yes,
might
also.
be sampling some of your game
Oh, and
tables
by
at
the
some
way,
point.
Hello,
I am
to
here
all
to sample your
who
game
said
tables. Could
hello
you
at the
please
top. I
point
know we
me
missed
to
a
where they
couple,
are?
but we're glad that you're here on the stream.
So for 2 of the D&D nerds, one of the things that I found in that collection that is no longer in that collection is the Thieves World box set. So Thieves World was a series, it was an anthology series about this world where it was all
We got a follower on
thieves,
Twitch.
very
Joker.
few even fighters.
up, Joker?
Because it was such a low rundown city.
Probably following you.
And like a third level
We're
magic
following you.
user would be like a god. Low level magic was still
Oh,
very
yeah, 'cause
powerful.
you didn't-
Yeah.
you didn't put the
And a
tip on?
great
I
series
did.
of books by Robert Asprin. You can find them sometimes used for a couple bucks a piece. They're great.
Which Twitch is Twitch.
It's actually put out this thing that's for 8 different RPGs.
So, yeah, it's both of our Twitches.
This thing
Oh,
of
cool.
D&D, Tunnels and Trolls, like you name it.
Either way,
So-
we're glad to have
so
Are
you.
they
could-
are they
We
all
are.
set in the same universe, or are they all like in different?
Nope, it's all in its own universe. But the reason I say anthology series is the idea behind it. The book series is cool. So there's say an issue
Oh, it
between
went
you
out
and
for
I.
all of them.
The
That's
first story
nice.
might be my view of the situation.
Oh, I thought you did it.
Second
on
one's
just,
yours,
I thought you
and
did it
it's
all
different.
individually.
because it's your point
Oh,
of
so
view.
you just did it on one.
Not
It went to
mine.
all of them.
That is
Did it
definitely.
work?
It's
very
not third
interesting.
party point of view. It's your point of
Okay.
view.
Oh, cool.
So the books are really cool because you'll be like, that's not how I
Oh,
remember
that
And you have to
changes
go
my
back and
life.
check. You're like, oh, that's how he looked at what happened.
That's okay. I like
Pretty
that.
cool books.
I got to remember to do that
That's
too. When
Definitely
we're,
not anything I've
we're-
actually heard of
we're doing
before.
it on Rob's show also.
It's very
I think you have to be at least 50.
Yeah, I gave him a whole bunch.
You have to at least be 50.
Just
But
social
good
media
stuff, really
branding
fun
in
stuff.
general, so.
And then it got into that period where I wasn't into
Thank you
D&D
for being more
because I was
efficient
doing
than me.
other
I
things.
appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
And I was
Oh,
like, I
no,
don't know
I
what
just-
this is. My buddy
Tim,
Mike gets
I'm
there
just
with
kidding.
me. He's like, oh, it's
I
that,
saw-
it's that. And he's
I saw all the hashtags.
Oh, you did?
Did you post a Dragon Ball Z picture?
Yeah, the
on
con's
it?
going to be
Because usually it says who posted
so much
it,
going on. We've
and
can't say anything on air. But
there
we've
was no
confirming guests for next year that are fairly epic.
name.
So
That's
Oh,
nice.
yeah. that was
watch
good.
this. I can do this for
Which
you
one
guys
would-
because
which one
this
did
is
I-
an awful
Oh, yeah,
thing
it's
to
the one
do
with,
since I know we're live on
this
Facebook.
Next Tournament of
But,
Powers would be lit.
Let's see if I write this for you. Then at least your expression.
Oh man, I gotta see this now.
Well, it
Well,
isn't
we're
that
about to
big,
come back.
but it's pretty big. I think everybody will really like this individual.
I definitely would.
Ooh, that'd
I
be
Look at
definitely
this.
wouldn't
I'm
mind.
the only one ready.
yeah.
Look at this.
Think that's
Do what?
you think that's cool? I think that's cool.
I
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
Was my booty on the screen?
Huh?
Was my booty on the screen? Was that what that was?
There's a full moon rising.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo here, along with T2 and Rob Young and Show Contributor Cameron and he of the awesome pipes, Matthew.
Tis I.
Tis he. We're talking about a bunch of stuff, and
You could possibly get a job at Audible.
yes, we. Why do I hear
Nothing.
bleed?
I didn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
That totally
No,
wasn't me.
that wasn't me.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
So I heard
Pulseception
some-
right
I
there.
heard some bleed there, but that's okay. I'm not gonna.
Oh, it
we're
wasn't
not.
me.
We're
Yeah,
not
that
gonna
was
do
me.
it.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
I don't
all
want
right.
him to get in
Thank you,
trouble.
sir.
I was I like I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want you to get in
I
trouble.
didn't say who it was.
Oh,
I
I
was
thought it
just
was
saying
going to
it
be a
wasn't
bit
me.
where we blame Tim and let the
It's Tim's
sponsor go
fault.
free.
It's not your fault, Rob. It's Tim's fault. He
course
needs to
it's
take
my
care of
fault.
that sort of thing.
No,
He's-
it's my fault
he's
because I
a
was coming from my
producer.
phone.
yeah, I know.
Because
but
I'm on the Iron Throne over here. I got
That's
the
right.
seat of power.
that's right. He does.
Power.
He absolutely does. All right, we're gonna get to some other things, but
That seat
we
must not
talked
be
about
comfy.
we talked about the grand opening is coming, but we haven't talked about what happens next week. South Carolina Comic-Con Junior.
Isn't this crazy?
Next-
This is complete insanity that we're doing here.
Yeah, things are just flying by on this show and in life, and at least this year. You know, the COVID year really, and is longer than a year, really slowed everything down. And then when we got a sense of normalcy, I think it kind of turtled a little bit, but then suddenly, boom, it's gone, and things are flying like they used to. So South Carolina Comic-Con Junior happens next week. It's 11 to 6.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that. 11 to 6 at the Greenville Expo Center. Or is
Greenville
it?
Convention Center.
Convention Center. I knew I was going to mess that up because I keep thinking
Because it used to be Palmetto.
Palmetto.
Expo
Yeah,
Center.
yeah. And I'm hearing
If you've been
Palmetto
here
in my
forever,
head.
man, that's ingrained in your brain.
Yeah.
Said 11 to 6.
Yes, sir.
11 to 6. And how much does it cost to get in?
It's $15. Kids 10 and under are free. We're paying an adult. With a paying adult, I seem to be forgetting words here. Now, it hasn't been officially announced, and so what I'm about to say is unofficial at the moment. But I think I got to make sure that they're still cool with doing it. But there may be a blood drive. We'll announce it this week from like 9 to 2 at the con, and folks can donate blood and get in free.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
That's yeah.
So that'll be a cool way that you can be a superhero while going to the con. You can help out your neighbors and get the show for free. And then the idea of them starting it at 9 a.m. is you can come donate blood and not miss any time.
All right. So there's a chance because we're out all over the place, not only on the airwaves here in the upstate of South Carolina, and word is everywhere because it is. But we're also on a bunch of different streaming sites. If there's some people who have never been to a con before, what can they look forward to coming to South Carolina Comic-Con Junior?
So Comic-Con Junior, I think, is a great way for people to start with shows. So it's 40,000 square feet of, which sounds big, but in comparison to the regular con, it's actually not. It's about a quarter of the size. So it's not too intimidating. You've got plenty of vendors from all over the Southeast and some folks that have traveled further than you'd think. Got some folks that are driving, 8 and 10 hours to get here to set up. You've got artists, both professional artists and artist alley folks who are crafters and painters and sometimes wood burners, lots of really neat stuff that they do. But some creators we've never had before. Tony Harris, the legendary comic creator, Eisner Award winner for Starman. His art is incredible. He's going to be there. Dan Fraga, not only has he done a ton of comic stuff, he's never been to any of the SC Comicons. He's also the storyboard artist for Doom Patrol.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Which I do believe
Okay.
I saw got picked up for another season.
Yeah, and he's also done some directing for animation and stuff like that as well. It's pretty crazy. We just found out as we were pulling up that although folks have seen him before, he is a constant favorite. The great and powerful Kelly Yates, who is the best Doctor Who artist in the biz. I love everybody else that does it, but he is awesome and uncannily looks like Keanu Reeves. It is really.
I can agree. I can agree with that.
Oh, we walked through and we had people stopping asking for his picture at the show in Pensacola. It was hilarious. They swear to God thought he actually was Keanu Reeves walking around the car.
So he has to know that, right?
Oh, he does.
He's got to.
Oh,
he does.
does he
in all the
Does he
best
steer
ways.
into the
Yeah,
skid or
He doesn't misuse his powers, but
Oh, I would.
he does have
If I
fun
looked
with
like
it.
Keanu Reeves, I would.
Well,
So
I mean, no,
milk that.
no. If you look like Keanu Reeves, you've got to act like Keanu Reeves, which means you can't misuse your power because you're
That's not
Keanu
hard.
Reeves.
And I tell you, one of the ones that's kind of interesting for you guys on radio is Bill Gollier will be there, who is an artist for Archie, writer for Archie,
Wow. Okay.
been in the industry
Okay.
forever. He's incredible, but also used to be Bo Oliver doing traffic in the Upstate.
I was going to say, man, that sounds familiar. Why? Yeah, okay.
So
Bo
Bill,
Oliver
Bill would get
doing
up and be this traffic guy, and then go and draw Archie.
All right. So,
Nice.
That's
so
pretty
if,
killer.
if you don't know this,
Those
there
are
are a
the
lot
best
of
stories.
there are a lot of people in radio who don't use their real name in radio. Maybe even some people in this building. I'm not one of those, but there are some people who don't use their real name. And Traffic was notorious for that, especially back in the day when there used to be a company here. I don't know if that's where he worked. There was a company who did nothing but traffic for the entire Upstate.
Might have been.
And they would do it for all the different stations. And I knew a couple people who were using different names over there. And you hear the voices like, yeah, that's not who you are. But yeah, that happens a lot. And I don't know why, but for some reason it's encouraged, especially in traffic, for you to use. Now you may wonder if our weather people, if their names are made up. Look it up if you can spell them.
what about the
'cause-
news people?
Yeah, the news people. I don't know. Is that really your name, Matthew?
The world may never know
Okay.
that it is indeed my name. Yes.
He's going to keep it a
I'm
secret.
pretty sure his name is actually Dennis.
He does not look like a Dennis.
I don't think he looks like a dentist.
No, I don't.
Maybe
think
an
so.
Ellis.
Mm.
No. He doesn't look like any
Dennis
of
is
that.
blonde and shorter.
Yeah.
Annoys his neighbor a lot.
So I will tell you,
Solid reference.
if you haven't been to a con, you need to go. This one, consider it like a starter con to get you to the bigger ones. And
A gateway con, if you will.
yeah. Well, if you want to go that direction. So what you do is you go there and you get to do something that in this day and age, especially coming off of COVID, that you don't normally get to do. You get to go look at a product, pick the product up, look it over and go, man, oh, this is well constructed. I think I'm going to buy this, as opposed to ordering things online. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not the same as actually being in there with a bunch of like-minded people who are there because they're nerdy like you, or they're into pop culture like you, or they're into manga, or they're into whatever they're into there. And you can go and you can hang out. And again, there's nothing like picking up a product and seeing, okay, yeah, this is as big as I thought it was. I'm going to buy this. And you're probably going to walk around and go, wow, I didn't even know they made that. I think I need to get one of those.
You'll find things you never know you wanted.
Including, I mean, Cameron and I have bought actual swords there in the past. So I don't know all the vendors. Those vendors may not be there this year, but these are just some of the things we've gotten. We've also got glasses that are etched. I have a Goku etched glass at home.
Oh, that's cool.
And no, I don't drink out of it. It's in my game room with all my other Dragon Ball stuff. But I also bought a Lionel Stein mug, whatever, that is huge, that I actually do drink stuff out of.
A Lionel?
Lionel.
It's not a train.
Yeah, it's not. He wouldn't
It's
even
not a
know. He
train,
wouldn't even
yeah.
know about Lionel trains, probably.
Yeah, no,
Oh, I was
I
thinking
was gonna go
Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Hey.
Lionel Richie, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, another thing is you actually get to support somebody.
Yeah. You know
local.
what? You drink something out of that Lionel Richie Stein. It
Or-
goes
or-
down easy.
Or Lionel from
You got it.
Smallville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But supporting local folks too. I mean, you've got local folks and you're supporting a local artisan, whether they're drawing or making, on top of vendors who are bringing in stuff you've never seen before, like vintage toys or comics, or it's pretty nuts. I know one of the vendors coming just bought a massive Golden Age comic collection he's been showing online, and that's going to be really fun to look at all the books in the 40s and 50s he picked up.
Oh, that is cool.
That
By the
would be
way,
cool.
on stream, Todd says my favorite traffic guy was Miles Long.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey,
Miles
the
Long.
cornier the better. If you're going to do the fake name, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
It
I
feels
missed
like
my calling.
That feels like a dad joke.
I think they changed Bills to Rusty Fender at one point, I think.
Yeah, it's not surprising. See, it's dude.
But I like dad jokes. I love dad
No,
jokes.
these are not dad jokes. This is actually happened. This is not a joke. These are actual people
There was
on
a
the
guy
air.
named
Yes.
Miles Long. For real?
Yes.
That is
yes.
funny.
Miles long.
That's
with your morning
hilarious.
Traffic. If you're passing by Pelham, the road is miles long.
Just like I knew,
right,
I
man.
knew someone, still know someone, and so do you. And I'll tell you who it is later. Who was on an oldies station. This wasn't for traffic, but her name was Penny Lane, which is from a Beatles song.
Yeah,
That's not her name though.
Yeah, that's what I had in my
of
mind too.
course.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that
Let's
kind of
just
stuff
admit
happens
that
all the time.
aliases
My
are
name
fun.
my name just went out over the air, and like I was just like, okay, I'll just accept it.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so we need to take a break. Before we do, one more time. He's not going anywhere, but before we do, South Carolina Comic-Con Junior next week, 11 to 6, $15. Where can you get the tickets at? Rob?
Tickets can be bought at SCComicon.com, at Borderlands Comics and Games, and we have the wristbands available for pickup on Monday. So if folks have bought them online, they will call them at the store all week like we do for the big show. And you can also buy them in person at the con.
There you go. All right. We're not done talking about this. We're going to talk about it some more next hour, but I keep promising that we're going to talk about something else. But this was so cool, everything that we've talked about so far. There is an AI takeover. We might get to it. I don't know if I want my blood pressure to go up. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
Tell you one thing we'll have to talk about, Ricky, was talk about wrestling. Very fortunate to have him at the show, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, with the new announcement.
He's already made the announcement.
I know, I'm saying.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
booked him before
All right,
the
so
announcement,
that
and he's
went out.
honoring his booking.
Is it that close to when that's happening? I haven't paid attention to when.
It's Thanksgiving weekend, so
Is it?
6 weeks
Okay.
out. He's going to come to the show. Probably make it a rest day on his schedule.
See,
He's got to be working out like a maniac trying to get ready for it.
especially at
More
his
likely,
age.
yeah.
So Trey asked, how do
How
we
do
know
when-
when a joke becomes a dad joke? When it becomes apparent? I don't know. I haven't completely understood that, to the fact that,
That
I
is
have
the
to.
line.
That's
Here's the thing,
joke.
though. I feel like a dad joke can't be what we've referred
That was
the
a
miles long
joke.
thing. That was just a regular joke.
Yeah, that
A
was
dad joke. A dad joke has to be more.
when it becomes apparent.
You have to cringe.
Look, in my opinion, the weakest thing in football is happening right
Oh
now.
my god, I don't think they
touching a rock.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't have to say that. They don't know that, Cameron. Although the people who are interested in that are watching that. So
True.
One of my good friends is physically there with his family right now. They
That's-
go to every home game.
that's cool. I mean, there
Yeah,
are
I've got
some
friends
really
that are
good
there,
fans
too.
in that fan base. I also still secretly want to watch someone trip. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. They're in their uniform. I've been in those uniforms.
An avalanche or a rock
know,
slide.
You get, yeah, well, the domino theory in action. I want to see it. I just do.
Also, by the way, Trey actually got us.
Yeah,
job,
I
Trey.
said that and nobody was listening to me. That was a joke.
What was it?
He said, how do you know when a joke becomes a dad joke? He said when it becomes apparent.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Yeah,
It's a great one. I loved it.
I know. I thought it was a great joke.
I'm way too into the analytical
But
side
there
of
was
things
something-
today. and I'm missing
Cameron's getting
things.
that.
Get it.
Cameron's just pointing out that I didn't get it, and because I'm doing multiple things at once. Yeah, and
Well,
I'm
welcome
and-
everybody to the stream if we haven't welcomed you yet.
yeah.
And do us a solid. If you're enjoying the content, please smash the like or hit the subscribe or follow button. It
We're
really
doing
helps
that?
us out.
I just,
Or
why do
share
you
it.
got to smash it? Why don't you just, I mean, you could tap
They
it.
could
Smush
share
it.
They could share it
Yeah.
out. They could share the stream out.
Smush,
Yeah, you could do that.
smush
Share it.
Always a
the
good
like
thing.
button.
You can gently
or
press
share it with your friends, your family.
Although if you're at work, go ahead and smash
However-
it. It's not yours.
However you would like to support us, we would greatly appreciate it.
Don't sound like begging. I mean, like us or don't.
That's not begging.
It's better to
It's
like.
just
I think.
reminding people to do that because sometimes you get in the
Think the
content and you don't.
Purpose may be
remember to do
hopefully
it.
that they would listen again and again. If they don't like you, I think eventually they won't listen.
No, I disagree. Because there
No,
are
they-
some,
They
some,
like you and want to rib you, or they just wouldn't listen.
well, there are some people who hate my guts and listen to me just because they hate me. And I'm okay with that too, because you're still listening.
They really have a problem.
Well, there are
and
other
they're being
certain,
taken advantage
there are
of.
other-
There's so many
in that
hours in
case.
life. It's like, why
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the world would I intentionally
Well-
cut a thing on and listen to a thing I hate? I don't even
I know,
understand.
really.
The concept is
they're
alien
of
to
a
me.
certain fan base and they're not listening right now because they're watching what's on TV. So
Okay. Did you guys know that this probably isn't airworthy?
Chris gets what I'm saying.
But for guys that are wrestling guys, did you see that? I think it was yesterday or day before we lost one of the
Yeah.
the
Inoki.
largest legends in the history of the sport of professional wrestling.
I
It's
I
not
saw
Coolio,
it.
was it?
No, it's not
Antonio
Coolio.
Inoki,
It's
Who
Inoki.
created
Yeah.
New Japan Pro Wrestling and was so big in Japan, he was elected to their Congress twice, including one time under a political party that he created.
Okay, what?
By the way, Chris,
When you talk about,
people
like,
have shown up at
Affecting
events
culture
who
and how big
hate
you
me. That's
actually
fine.
get. Like, think of that's insane.
That's a lot of influence to create there.
Yeah, Noki and El Santo in Mexico are larger than anything we've ever seen in the States. Like The Rock and Hogan are tiny compared to them.
Jeez.
All right, we're going to talk some more Sakura Comic Con in the next hour. I want to squeeze a couple other things in real quick. By the way, it's the Upstate Pulse. Thank you for listening. Or if you're watching on the stream, because we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, and we've been on some of those things for a really, really long time. 2 weeks from now, I think it is, or 3 weeks. It's probably 3 weeks. All right, so a couple of days before Halloween, we will have our Halloween episode where we'll play Halloween music. We'll talk about Halloween stories, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because got new people, got new blood in here, and seeing what we're going to do. I would say there's some people in the past, Patrick, Chris, who Zach, who really didn't want to dress up for Halloween, and I don't get that. I mean, we can't go anywhere for. Well, we could. We can go to Halloween parties and stuff.
Oh, I love dressing up.
So we usually dress up for Halloween here on the show, and I got my costume almost completely done. So I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to know. I just want to ask the guys. Not putting pressure on you. But I would really, and the listeners also would really, and by the way, listeners, if you're listening to the show or you're watching the show on the Halloween edition, send us in some pictures, safe pictures, please, of costumes that you're dressed. Feel free to dress up and listen to the show with us as we do our Halloween edition of the Upstate Pulse in just a few weeks. Tim, is your costume nearly complete? Or are you just are you working on it? Are you formulating? Do you have
yes,
an idea?
Yes.
You don't have to say what it is because
I
you already know.
I have an idea, and you already know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you and Cameron already
I
knows.
definitely know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in the works. I'm trying to figure out some because I like to do things my own way. I don't like to just go out and buy stuff. I like to create. So I'm gonna try to get something put together.
All right. So I know Cameron has his. Matthew.
So I've got to figure something out now because my friend who was going to connect me with somebody who does cosplay stuff was going to help get me hooked up with some stuff. But they are way too backed up and are not going to have time to get anything ready for me. So I got to figure out something very simple to get together within time.
I will tell you that there are some cosplay people who actually listen to the show and watch the show. One of them liked the post that I put out earlier today. So you may want to check that out. Maybe you can
Okay.
reach out to them and maybe they can hook you up and help you out. So we usually have a lot of fun with that. Although some people aren't into horror movies or anything that goes along with Halloween. And I get it. If you're not into it, that's fine. But if you are into it, make sure you tune in just a few weeks when we talk about that. And yes, we are adults dressing up. Why? Because we want to. That's why.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, and so we got enough time. Speaking of adults, there's something that comes out in just a couple days, and we need to try a taste test this next week. Yes, this is a taste test. I saw this while I was on vacation, which has been this entire week. First, I thought it was a joke, but it is not a joke. October 3rd, this comes out. Adult Happy Meals.
Oh God.
Yes, Adult Happy Meals comes
Yes.
out October 3rd.
What
Do we
are
get
the
it? Do we get a
prizes?
toy?
What are the toys?
All
I was
right.
going to ask what the
All
toys are
right.
too.
All right, so here's the article. The hamburger is back at McDonald's, a hamburger rather, but this time it's just for adults. McDonald's is bringing back its family of recognizable figurines and a new adult Happy Meal, which yes includes the toys beginning October 3rd. Customers can order a cactus plant flea market box, which either has a Big Mac or a 10-piece chicken McNugget in it with fries and a drink. The meal is a collaboration between the streetwear brand and the fast food chain as it digs deeper into nostalgia. So what they're going to do is they're going to have several big name companies, chains, whatever, clothing companies or things like that to sponsor the boxes whenever they bring them out. I don't know if it's going to be every week. Let's see. Cactus Plant Flea Market is a streetwear brand, has been popularized by Kanye West and Pharrell in recent years. So that's one of those things. So they're trying to make it hip, exciting, whatever the kids call it today. It slaps, it does whatever. I don't know. But whatever the cool thing is, that's what they're going to do. So nostalgic toys, so they look like what they used to. So
Not exactly.
yeah, the
So-
Hamburglar isn't scary.
Well, no, it
he
looks
was.
like
No.
they're being redesigned by the brand. So Cactus Plant Flea Market, they're redesigning them. Looks like they all have 4 eyes,
Do they?
at least on the picture that I've
Well,
got.
that's cool. Yeah, I looked at it, but it didn't look really
Like, just a
close.
crazy. Yeah, if you glanced, you wouldn't
Okay.
notice it. So just something weird, but
But the boxes themselves are going to have designs and stuff on it. It's kind of cool. So
oh my god, I can't wait.
so anyway,
so what's the first Happy Meal that everybody remembers?
Oh, I don't.
Isn't that an interesting? Because I mean, everybody just about got a Happy Meal under the.
I
age of
remember as a
50.
kid 2 things specifically from Happy Meals. One of them was the little Bionicles, the little 3-pronged. There was a head,
yes.
there was the claw body, torso, and the legs. And there was like a bunch of them you could collect and mix and match and stuff. And I loved throwing those things together. And the other thing I remember was a really small little Transformers, but like they were really good for Happy Meal
So
toys.
they weren't GoBots. They were Transformers.
No, like actual Transformers.
'Cause
Yeah, I remember
GoBots
the
are kinda weak.
Transformers, but that's all I can remember really.
But like after that, I stopped doing McDonald's because if I made a tier list of fast food restaurants, McDonald's would be D tier.
Come on, man. Don't bring us down. We're getting adult Happy Meals next week.
Oh no, we'll get them.
Okay,
and
all right.
I'll enjoy the plasticky taste of McDonald's hamburgers.
You can have
I
nuggets.
don't know that
I
you're wrong.
love
Oh, but the
McDonald's
nuggets are even
burgers.
worse.
Wow. Gosh.
Oh my god.
It's
The-
bringing everybody
Like tail
down.
on to the guys. The first one I remember was actually Star Trek, which I
Remember the
think
Star Trek
Oh,
ones?
cool.
Star Trek the motion picture, which I think might be the first licensed one. I'll have to look that up.
I don't remember that. I
remember.
definitely remember the
What
movie,
is that,
but I
like
don't.
79,
All right,
78?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I want to say 82, but I
It's earlier.
just want to be different than what you're saying.
That's okay.
It's not because I'm a contrarian or anything.
I mean, that can't
that's a myth.
possibly be something that's
That's
consistent.
Absolutely a myth
Mm-mm.
because I disagree with everybody.
1979.
Look at you.
Pachanga.
It was like in between, but you were closer, so you would have gotten to go up with Bob Barker, not me, because I went over.
I get to go play grocery games.
Chris says you take that back about nuggets, Matthew.
I refuse.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
dare you?
I will die on this hill.
Matthew's also the skinniest guy, on the station.
The healthiest
He
guy
don't,
in the room.
he don't eat
By the
a
way,
lot of
we
nuggets.
just lost Cameron. He's still on the
He's still on Rob's
He's still there.
monitor there
Yeah,
on the
he's still
corner.
there. He's still there. All right. So adult Happy Meals, you guys going to go get them? Because I definitely want to go get them. And what toy would you like to see in your adult Happy Meal? What's a toy now as an adult? And maybe nostalgia, because that's what they're going for. What toy would you like to see? I would love to see those Star Trek toys. That would be awesome. Or Star Wars, original, Star Wars toys in there would be kind of cool. Or Super Friends. I would love to see some Super Friends toys in an adult Happy Meal.
I only want Super Friends and an adult Happy Meal so that they can have a commercial that does the meanwhile,
Oh, yes. for
Oh, that
sure.
would be awesome.
right? Because
I
who
just-
would not
Oh,
want
yeah.
that?
Honestly,
it's
I
meanwhile,
just-
the Hall of Justice. Who doesn't want that commercial?
Do you
I
want,
agree.
But do you want it's happening, dude. It's happening. Do you want the Wonder Twins or do you want Wendy and Marvin?
Well, I think you'd do a contest if I were McDonald's and let them fight it out. Let people vote.
There you go. All right, you listen to the Upstate Pulse. We'll be back in the next hour. We're going to talk some wrestling, some more South Carolina Comicon, and a ton of other things. By the way, we're still live during the break, so check it out on the stream.
The Supper Friends.
Thank
How
you.
about A-Team? We could do A-Team.
Oh, yeah. Give me a B.A. Baracus toy.
I'm not getting on no plane, fool.
I'm guessing maybe you and I are the only ones who, well, aside from the stream, who've actually seen the original A-Team. Anybody else in this room watch the original
I know he was
A-Team?
doing Mr. T, and Mr. T was part of the A team.
Have you guys seen the remake?
Mm-mm.
So there's an A-Team movie remake with Liam Neeson
Yes,
as
yeah,
the lead. And
I saw bits and pieces.
it wasn't
of
awful.
Yeah.
But one of the Murdoch is crazy. When we say crazy, like Murdoch's insane.
Yes.
He's their pilot. and he tries to get him out. So he tries to jump start a car with a defibrillator. And that scene alone is worth seeing because it's hilarious.
Does it work?
Very poorly.
Okay.
But it's awesome. It's an epic failure that is fantastic. You need to see it.
It's one of those things of it's enough.
It's fine. Yeah, it was enough to sit through the movie and go, it's okay. I saw the guy with the defibrillator. Yeah, pretty good. Good old Murdoch. And then Murdoch ended up on Star Trek Next Gen. At some point.
I see it in my head, but I don't
Yeah,
know
it was
what
like, an
character it
extra
was.
or whatever. I still think, CBS is just dumb as a box of rocks. Hey, let's do a Star Trek show and let's not put it on broadcast. I know that our product skews older and there's all these older people that want to watch it. And we definitely should make it harder to reach that audience. Like, why wouldn't you do it on broadcast?
We
and then
here
on
like to
streaming-
shoot ourselves in our foot.
Right.
in our
And then on
feet.
streaming the next day. That's all, because the audience that only likes streaming, if it's a younger audience or whatever, they're going to watch it anyways. And they don't watch it on your schedule. That's why they like streaming. So instead, they make it hard for people to watch it who don't have streaming, reducing their visibility. Because shows
We
like
get a
Big
new
Bang
laptop
Theory were such a
eventually.
failure.
Well, Big Bang Theory is also a bad show, but
No, it's not. I may not like the show. You can argue all you want. You start writing checks for those amount of money. It's not a bad show. Because they're
popularity
what-
and being good
what's
are
the
not the
what's
same
the
thing.
goal of the show?
To make money, for sure.
That's mission
That's-
accomplished.
Popularity and something being good doesn't necessarily go hand in hand.
I don't know if this is a democratic republic. I said that they're voting with their eyeballs, and it must be good and they like it. I was not the biggest fan of Big Bang Theory, right?
to-
From me watching
how
it
it
standpoint.
works.
Just like if
Like,
I don't know, you
just
guys may
show
not
me
have been
all the-
watching WKRP in Cincinnati,
Show me
but
the
when that was on, it was a
website.
sitcom about a radio station. You're like, I do that every day. I don't want to watch that. So I didn't want to watch Big Bang Theory a whole lot. I watch it, but not a lot.
Yeah, but Charlie.
I was about to say Dad was a fan of that.
Oh, I know.
But to referee
but-
this a little bit, I
That's
would
when
say
we're
it just
ready.
depends on what your end goal is for the show. Do you judge the show by the money it makes, or do you judge it
Just show me,
by?
like,
No.
the quality
Are
of
you
if you have
producing the
specific
show?
questions,
And it's by the money.
I can.
If you're
answer.
making the
Well, we
show,
have to
Yeah,
get-
then absolutely.
your
it's by the
only
money.
judgment is by the money.
Financial
He's making
and
the
I still
accounts
stand
that
by
he
what I
wants to
say.
stream on.
Financial
I asked
and
the,
success is
text
not the
line
same
last
as
week.
quality.
What
They
do they
Do
normally
not always
watch?
go hand in hand. They
And
can,
Rumble is
and they
one of
oftentimes
them.
do. but
Can you
not
do it on
always,
Rumble?
and that
Yeah,
Big
as long
Bang
as you
Theory
get
is an
stringy, you
example.
can stream
Okay.
on anything
Well,
you
there's
want.
episodes of it I
just
thought
don't know
were
where to
funny.
put
No, it's
the
not
I
like
just
there's
don't-
no good episodes.
I just
obviously.
don't want to watch it every day.
It's just an overall.
I've done it
not great
once.
show.
Yeah, you were
Very
over here when we
surface
put
level.
yours in.
Do you
know what?
consider it overhyped?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yes, but I also don't really see it beat that height.
You went and got the
Okay.
stream.
I mean,
key
it
for
was.
yours.
I did.
It was
Yeah.
insane.
It
I will
was.
tell you the popularity of
I
it
just
was
don't want to have to sit there and tell him.
in my world. People would walk.
You
in,
can
"Oh,
set
y'all
it up
like that
now.
Big Bang
I mean,
Theory
when
show."
we're done, you can.
You would
I mean,
not
you don't even
believe
have to
how
be
often-
on to
how
set it
big
up.
was. People watched it.
Or you could set up a dummy
that
broadcast
did not care
and then delete it
about
afterwards
comics.
because
They
you
did
don't
not
have
care
to
about
go
any of it.
live. You just
They just
set
thought
up
it
the
was funny.
broadcast itself.
Did that actually drive
And when
up
you're
sales
doing
for you
that, it
guys,
will
or
ask you for all like we
No,
did with,
I'll
with
tell you an
yours,
interesting thing with
how
that.
to get to those
People
things.
used to ask me that about
Once
the
you add
Marvel
them, you
movies
can
a
just
lot, and I don't
not use the broadcast,
think that
and then you'll have it all ready
movies
for when he
being
wants it.
popular creates sales.
Hmm.
It's the real way
You can do
to
that
think
from
of it
home
is
if you wanted to.
it creates awareness of a product, and if they like that product,
But afterwards,
done your
ask me
job
whatever questions you
advertising,
want, and I will
then
try
you
to
have an
answer.
opportunity to transition that into something.
Uh,
But on its
they
own,
designed those for us.
you throw your
Yeah,
shop
as
out
far as
there
the
in a horrible
background
area
picture,
and you don't advertise.
You know what
don't
I
do
did there.
anything,
I just if you
No.
go,
Yeah.
you can
nothing
upload a
happens,
picture.
right?
yeah?
But I do think
Yeah.
it raised awareness, which
He needs to use, unless he wants something different
sure.
than the word live thing overlaying on there, he will have to have someone make them, or you can use like Photoshop or something. I'm going to need your help later on. I downloaded Premiere last night
Oh, so
because I
yeah,
told you
I'm
they
back.
gave me a license. I just hadn't used it. And
So how are
Yep.
you going in and out? Does it keep trying to update?
It's a computer.
crashed.
the computer is,
High-end computer.
yeah, it's
Yes, it's a
extremely
very-
old.
Yeah, I thought it was weird when you
I was
stuck
gonna
that
say
crank
state
in
of-
it from that Model T.
Seems to
and
be
stuff.
overly complicated compared to like
That was the second
movie
crank I
producer and
used.
some other things.
That's right. The
It's
first
because
one-
it's
first one
Adobe,
wasn't
they overcomplicate
new.
everything Let's just simplifying it where everyone can use
I wanted
it.
to get it from
Started
like a
messing with it a little
clockwork
bit
shop
last night
from like
because I was going to
the 1600s,
give you an example of what I was talking about making the countdown.
like from a
Steampunk.
a discount toy
So,
makers. Craig,
Steampunk, baby.
it's about like
Oh,
this
yeah, I
big.
need to work on that. I haven't.
You should have seen Rogan.
So
last
I need
night.
to get good with that program. So
Okay, I can show
Okay,
you.
Where I
no.
that.
was. After that, we went to Rogan in Atlanta.
Yeah, Dad mentioned that.
Woo, 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 woo. He made some people angry.
I can imagine he tends to do that.
That's what good comedy does.
Oh, absolutely.
People didn't all want to hug George Carlin.
So definitely not.
all right, I don't know if you have it ready or not, but welcome back, Tim. Welcome back. Welcome back into you to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD. We want to let you know that we are also streaming live because we always do that right here. First ones in the building. We're going to point that out just because we like patting ourselves on the back and all that kind of stuff and talking about how
And noobing each other when we mess up.
well, that's what that is a motivational tool
It is.
because then you're trying.
You know what? It really works.
You saw me noob myself.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a motivational tool.
It's a painful thing, but you
Yes.
just got to do it, man.
It is. It absolutely is. And it's also nostalgic at the same time because Angry Zach is the one who voiced that. So, and Patrick went and got it off of his phone and then we got it on the thing because he didn't like the noob that I put together.
Why not?
This one's better though.
Oh,
Because I got some stuff from My Hero and some other things like that, but this one means more to the show. It does. And I should have thought of it and I didn't, and he did, and good for him, except for he's not here. So whatever. We got a lot of things to get to in this hour. And
Would you like to go to the couch? Now, here's the thing.
No.
I've got to try my therapeutic, degree in some ways.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Could you tell me about your childhood?
Yeah, I have. And we don't have enough time.
No, we don't. We certainly do not.
There would be multi-volumes written of books for some therapist somewhere, and I'm gonna wait till like I'm 55. So we got one more year.
he's still a child anyway.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. So when I hit that couch, it's gonna be like
We all are in this room.
Hey, Gladys, hold all my calls and no more appointments the rest of the day or next week.
Bro.
You just see the guy. He just sees the guy rocking in the chair,
Yeah.
just
And,
doing the slow rock while his hands are, on like a fidget spinner.
Oh,
and
Lord.
the whole time the therapist is gonna be thinking, man, the movie rights for this is gonna be amazing.
What if the therapist
Maybe-
needs therapy afterwards?
It may only go to Lifetime, but they pay money too. So I mean, there's that. All right, so we got a lot of things to.
Here's would be a fun indie film.
I think it's some parts horror, some parts delightful and exciting, some parts very
What was-
depressing.
What was the one thing like written in that underpass, like written in like red?
What, the Blood Bowl?
Blood Bowl, yeah,
the Blood Bowl. The Blood Bowl was fun.
Was
So-
that fun?
It was for me. So there's an underpass really quick in downtown Columbus, Ohio, fairly close to the Ohio State campus, and it takes you probably 5 to 10 minutes to get all the way back into where this is, and there's graffiti written all over the place. It supposedly was a place for skateboarders, but there's no way because there were no smooth dips or anything. It was very segmented. Skateboarders could
Is it
not.
flat?
No, it wouldn't have worked. Trust me, it would
Oh,
not have
okay.
worked. So that's
Well,
what
I
they
know
said
some
it
guys
was.
that could make it work,
Probably. So,
including myself.
Flanched and
so the
self-flayed.
dare was to go there to they called it the Blood Bowl, and you'd have to go under the underpass, and there are like a couple turns. So when you get all the way back in there, you can't see anything. You can hear the traffic going overhead, but you can't see anything. So you got to have flashlights. If you turn flashlights off, it's almost like being in a cave. Not as dark because I've been in like Mammoth Caves and a couple other cave systems. When they turn the light there, it's like being blind because there's no light at all. But here, there's a little bit of light. So for some reason, the story started and they kept coming to me to tell the story. So we'd find some noob, if you will, and we would take them there. And the whole time I would tell the story of the Blood Bowl as we went, and I would just make stuff up. And by the time we got them there, they were scared out of their mind before we even went under the underpass. So you go under the underpass.
I mean, the title is pretty.
Yeah, and you turn around the
Blood
corner,
Bowl.
and there's a hole in the wall where rust and some other things come out, and it looks like brains.
Oh,
It
nice.
does. It's
That's
liquidy.
just fantastic.
There's a smell to it. I can remember the smell. So there's all this stuff to it. So I'm telling this story all the way through that we've heard that they're like, Satan worshipers down there and things like that, and all these different, depending on the story, but it's always like, oh my God, someone got shot here. There's their brains. And as soon as the guy, whoever's down there, looks at it, and you turn the lights out and run.
Wow.
Because we've been
That-
down there
that-
so many times that you knew where the turns were.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't leave them there forever.
Would you consider the place paranormal?
No.
No?
It was, I will go Rob Brown here or
Oh god.
or Tim Snow here and go scientifically it was a mix of rust and runoff water and things like that. But if you tell a story to someone before you get somewhere, they're already freaked out.
Of course.
And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you do did you hear that stuff?
It's
Wrestling
basting the
in the
fear
woods.
turkey.
And
Oh,
things like
come
that.
on.
It's just like going to a
Well, see, I hate ghost shows.
and this but this is like going to
They're like going through a house, and
yeah.
they'd be sitting there and be like, "Did you hear
this would be like going to Mad World or something like that, or a haunted creek or something like.
that?" Well,
It's- it
meanwhile,
is-
they'll do that.
Why
and
a
then,
haunted creek?
as a producer, sitting there like, "No, that's sound
the way-
design.
by the
It was
way,
put in after."
You're the guy. You're the kind of guy that I love to take down there, because
I would go.
because you would be the challenge, and you would be the kind of person they would find because they would tell me that I could not scare them,
Yeah.
and I did every single time.
You ever been to the Poinsett Bridge?
I have not.
So it's the oldest bridge, I believe, in the state. I think it dates back, I don't know, 1800s or something.
Poinsett Bridge.
Yeah.
Is it in Greenville or
Outside of Greenville.
outside?
Yeah,
like-
I think it was the original highway to Asheville, like in the 1800s or something crazy like that. And,
Oh, okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
And people had said I've seen people shoot, I think Felon Fair, they do those really cool fantasy videos. They've shot some stuff out there because it could look like that because it's all hand built brick. Really cool. But I was out there and some really crazy, weird things. It was kind of weird. Some weird sounds. Kept feeling like somebody was following you,
Oh yeah.
kind of stuff.
No, I've been in a place like that. It's pretty scary.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
It's scary.
So save your horror stories, your haunting
Oh
stories.
yeah, no.
for-
Every Halloween,
Yes,
I'm
save
going
them.
to give a story about the time that I lived in a haunted house.
Ooh, Chris says there's an old cemetery in Greenwood that is very haunted.
Oh, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. one.
So I'm thinking, we got to be careful about this, but I'm thinking maybe road trip.
Hey, I'm down. I got the camera
Uh,
gear.
The expedition has to be led by Matthew, or we don't go.
Okay, I'm down for it.
Okay.
Expedition Unknown. The
It's
Josh Gates used to do all that stuff. Those things were awesome,
We
man.
should start a YouTube channel.
Well, this will just
go
be-
explore
this
like
will be the-
paranormal stuff.
the
I was about to say we have one.
the Upstate
I'm
Pulse investigates.
Are
We've
you
already
in?
got things
Matthew
like that.
Causey
Yeah.
reporting
I'll tell you.
live from the old cemetery in Greenwood.
There we go. There we go.
And
Yes.
here we have our patron, Rob Young.
Rob
Go-
says that he
going
wants to
to
go on our
Takeover.
paranormal hunt.
I'll go on a paranormal hunt. I mean,
Yes.
I've lived with the paranormal in our current business for many years.
So
we gotta document it.
So-
Dude, we
so
can
here's-
document that.
here's the
We'll
thing.
allow it. I've had
Oh,
more people want to come in there, and I'm like, this.
oh
what-
yeah.
Whatever this is, I don't want to put a label on it. But
You also don't want to upset it.
so many weird things have happened, but it's never for the most part, never felt threatening or trying to hurt anybody.
Best to leave it that way.
Let's just leave it that way.
Yeah.
Let's just,
So, by the way, if we do this, which you'll never know till we do, we're not telling you till after we do it, because we can't be having a bunch of people show up. Why are there like 57 people at the cemetery right now at midnight? I don't know.
Yeah, that too. And we don't want people to like hide in the woods and mess with us either.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
don't care about that.
Well,
Just
I do
totally
for the
do that.
documentation's sake.
Let's not do that. That'd be bad.
yeah, the number of laser projectors and the crazy stuff you can do now. Oh my God, it would be so fun.
Yeah, Chris
Oh,
or
yeah.
Trey or somebody will jump out
Yeah,
of
I'd
the
be
woods.
pulling a
and scare
mask
everybody
on
to
me, and I
death.
would
Yeah.
be yelling about those pesky kids.
There we go.
Hold on.
All right. So those are some things.
You know, you could be a Scooby Doo villain.
I could be a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yeah, man.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd be a
All right.
Scooby-Doo
Well, here's the
villain.
thing: you're successful enough. To
I'll
actually
bring
be
I'll
a
bring
yeah,
the
yeah.
Scooby snacks.
All
I
right.
got them.
we are going to take a break. When we come back, because I want to make sure we do this, we're going to pick some picks for Nerf Wall, and then we're also going to talk a little bit of wrestling, including a special guest that's coming to South Carolina, Comicon Jr. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD. By the way, reach out to us on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. And if for some reason we don't see your comments, go to the 106.3 WRD Facebook page. We got a better shot of seeing that there. Also, text us at 71307.
So you get stuff.
Yeah, any of them just better show up in there. Lonzo, we may need some help at the store, believe it or not, that you can provide uniquely.
I will do my best.
So we've been using OBS to do our Facebook Live sales, and it started Facebook starting to not like it, and it starting to lock up with it. So we may want to switch to StreamYard.
Why the Facebook page? Are you talking about like the live comments? Or
Oh yeah, I was
some of them don't show up. It's like on my personal page, people will send me stuff and they don't show up.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think on pages it works, but on your personal Facebook, for some reason, the comments don't show up.
Do a haunted thing. Okay.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a superstitious guy in any way, shape, or form.
So
Nobody thought
one
so.
reason for
Yeah.
mine is I didn't believe these things existed
Hmm?
until it happened.
Ah.
I
And I'm
didn't
like, I
either.
don't really have an explanation for that.
I
Hey,
didn't
there's a
either.
cemetery in
And then something
Spartanburg
happened
nicknamed
again,
Hell's
and I'm like, I
Gate.
don't actually have an explanation for that either. So I don't know what that is.
Dude,
But I know
same
there's
thing.
something going on I can't explain.
Whenever it's something that I
Hey,
can't explain, it's probably
come back
because
with
I
the
just
wrestling
don't
intro
know that
and be ready
enough
when the
to
music
explain
hits. It's a
that.
little hot.
That's what I normally say.
Right. But when I'm watching things move and there's no one standing there, it becomes a little weird.
Especially when there's no obvious air draft or
There's
something.
no,
like
yeah,
that.
there's no way. And
Yeah, I was going to
other
talk to you
people
about that
started seeing it.
afterwards.
I monitor.
Let's wait till we're
That's
off
the main
stream.
thing is
I'll
that way
talk
you
to
know
you
that
about
you're
it.
not crazy.
almost,
That's kind of
it's
business we
like
don't need to talk about on
Oh
stream.
yeah, I'm sorry.
of the
All right.
old school guys. Like
So
after I
used to
bought
being
the
on
store,
camera that it's-
I had
Yeah,
multiple
I know.
guys
No, I
used to
get
be able
it.
to come up and go. So is anything weird happen while you've been here?
I have no shame.
This is not
You might
about
be
shame.
like,
it's
oh,
about, you know,
I know.
Just,
Yeah, you're right.
you know, homeless guy came in the other day to use the bathroom or something. No. I mean weird.
he can't work on the.
And you're like,
on
oh,
the-
you
on
don't
the
mean
8th.
unusual. You
So,
mean weird.
tell you
Yes,
what.
I mean weird.
So probing
Buddy,
without actually asking
talking
straight
about-
out.
Yeah, well, then it would be like, you know, like anything move? What?
Reside.
They get really close to start whispering.
Well, I've had a phone call that couldn't possibly have occurred.
No, I don't
I
care.
had
I mean,
all
we
kinds of
read
weird
just
stuff.
about everything.
Mark's had weird stuff happen.
I love the.
Mark,
This
Like
Mark
someone
show
on
is
the other line
horrible.
that
I'm.
Didn't
Oh,
make
I
any
love those.
sense,
Yeah, those are
or-
my
I made a
favorite.
comment
Me and Charlie
at
were
a
talking about
standee in the
that
store
like the whole last hour
at 11:30 at night
last week
with no one
last
else in the
Friday.
store.
That's how we
And the
started
phone
telling-
rang,
getting him to go
and a
to
nervous
stream.
voice on the
I was like,
phone
"Look, if you go to stream,
asked
then
about the
everybody can
standee.
see the comments that people leave."
Happened.
He does, man. He's got
Straight
some-
up happened.
he's got some-
Oh, I know. I get it. I don't think he has any
That was like-
as bad as what Vince gets, but
I have to get this order
but you
done or
can-
we close. So if you wink at me, I may
Yeah, Vince
relieve
gets-
myself
Vince
right
gets
here
worse
where I'm
ones.
sitting, but I'm not moving. I've got to get this order done or my business closes, which I also said out loud.
Regardless of what happens, I need to get this
I have,
done.
this
So
order's getting done, so it doesn't matter what you do, I'm not leaving.
you're just in the middle of it. It's like, please be gentle.
It's pretty much it. I was just on the computer working. Like, it's gotta happen.
I don't know why I went with this.
Back
Like you're
then
like have like an inkwell and a pen.
I have
What?
written stuff and an ink blotter. Yeah. But yeah, the diamond order back then was due on Thursday nights. So it would be 3,500 lines.
by the way, Chris, I
Had to
see
make
you say it's a
decisions
pretty
on.
scary place. I've been in
So if
some
you're running late,
cemeteries at
well,
night.
used to be running late a lot
um,
because it was just me doing
'cause,
all that stuff. Yeah.
We really like to prank people who we know are scared, especially in Ohio. I mean, just I will tell you a really good story that I've told before,
Take them
but
snipe,
you'll have to wait 3 weeks from now. You got to
Sniping?
wait till the.
snipe hunting.
Yeah, Cameron, you'd
think
probably
it-
be a pretty good snipe hunter.
I think you would be a good snipe hunter.
You get the build for it.
Elaborate,
I'll let you know.
gentlemen.
I'll tell you about it on the way home. What?
Okay.
Snipe hunting's pretty fun.
You need to be on the stream right now watching Rob Young play the air drums. You know, we had a segment a couple weeks ago, and you weren't here, I believe, talking about air guitar. Were you here for air guitar?
Yeah, I was here.
Oh, right.
I was here. They didn't like my song.
No, yeah, because when I think of air guitar now, I think of Matthew never doing it, and it just bothers me because I think somewhere there's a song out there that will get Matthew to air guitar. It's out there somewhere.
Maybe
Maybe it could be played in a cemetery.
maybe
Yeah, he has no comment at all.
I can't remember the word.
How about some anime stuff?
No,
Like,
I don't air guitar to anything.
There's no song that you just totally geek out when you hear it and go, yeah, that's my jam.
Yeah,
That-
like
Yeah, for sure. I love plenty of music and stuff.
Okay.
Air guitar is just not my response to it.
Yeah, you know, speaking of which, I
Phil
want to
Collins.
Nothing stirs your
Yeah.
soul enough to.
I want to
motivate it.
apologize again to anyone who, because we have some crossover audience here. I want to apologize to anyone who heard my horrible rendition of the REO Speedwagon song before I went on vacation. It's punishment for a reason.
Oh yeah.
And the sad part is some people said that they were going to go start listening to REO Speedwagon. And don't do that. Don't do that. They're
You
horrible.
shouldn't hate on other people's fandoms.
I'm not. I'm trying to.
Tell
I'm
them
trying.
not to go listen to something they
yeah,
like.
yeah. Well, they don't, and they shouldn't. And you know what? I'll hate on what I want to hate. And
Here's the thing: some things should be avoided in
just,
life.
I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
listen to
REO
REO
Speedwagon.
yeah, REO Speedwagon should be avoided. If you really want to listen to that, just go listen to Air Supply. It's the same thing. Just go do that. It's the same thing. So again, I apologize, and I'm very glad that I don't have to. I didn't lose last time on those bets. And so I don't have to pick from the boo box on the Rob Brown show.
There's a lot of
the
bees
boo
in that
box.
sentence.
Yes. So I don't have to pick from the boo box, but you know what? You know what? Someone is going to have to face punishment on this show for the Nerf wall. But we're not going to get to that just yet. First of all, we got two things. One, I want to talk about Tom Hardy because I don't think we did it last week. Did we talk about Tom Hardy last
I don't
week?
think we did. No.
believe so,
All right.
no.
So Tom Hardy, Bane or Venom, depending on who you are. He's been in a lot of movies, and he secretly entered a martial arts tournament and won. And this is the second one he's done that for. So he started just going out and entering martial arts tournaments, and sometimes he gets recognized,
I wonder.
and he has to tell him, "Come on, dude, let's just do this thing." And I think of A Knight's Tale
Yep.
every time. So in A Knight's Tale, von Liechtenstein is going up against the is the king.
no,
Who's the
it's-
prince?
Yeah, it was the prince.
Prince. Okay, it's the
I
prince.
believe it was Edward the Black.
Yeah, going up against the prince. When he realizes who it is, everybody else would stand down, but he didn't.
And he got all excited about
He
it.
went
too.
ahead and jousted the prince because he was out there, and so he was going to do it, and he felt like it was a dishonor to not do it. So you gotta wonder if it's some of the same things when you look across there and you're in a martial arts tournament, and then there's Tom Hardy, and you're like, "That's Tom Hardy." Should I really try to beat Tom Hardy?
So what kind of martial arts tournament are we talking about?
Jiu-jitsu.
All right. So
Jiu-jitsu.
it was the
Jiu-jitsu?
It was 2022 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Open Championship, a competition held by Ultimate Martial Arts Championships in Oak Grove School at Milton Keynes.
But isn't jiu-jitsu like Japanese wrestling?
No, it's more
No.
about throwing and
No,
and,
jiu-jitsu submissions.
Is it
So
submission?
judo's
Okay.
throws.
what am I thinking?
Aikido is
That's what I'm
is
probably thinking of. the key.
kicks
Yeah.
and a lot of wrist locks.
Okay.
But jiu-jitsu is really, it started out as a self-defense thing, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Helio Gracie, maybe I'm a little bit of an MMA nerd. Helio Gracie kind of changed the art and made it a lot better, a lot more technical. And it's very much a defensive art, but it's a lot of submissions.
So, by the way, he went by the name Edward Hardy, which is his real first name is Edward. So
They just call me Ed.
yeah, so he went by Edward Hardy. I think that's cool.
I wonder if he
although-
went with a different voice too.
Nah, I doubt it. Oh, maybe he
But it
went with
was-
his American voice.
I just
mean,
looked it up. It looks like he entered as a blue belt. So it's not like he was going against black belts or anything. These things have levels to these tournaments. So
Right.
he was entering as a blue belt.
Where is a blue belt as
Yeah,
far as
but,
levels go?
White, yellow, blue, if I remember right.
but still at the same time, this is a like, I think he's 45 years old, an actor who doesn't have to do this kind of thing, but he's
36 and he was in
I
the
thought that's a 45. That's weird. Must have read it wrong.
He
the
looks
article
says
45. Dude,
45.
It's only because I'm looking at the article.
Okay.
It's literally only because I'm looking at the
Okay.
article. I don't actually know. But yeah, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. The fact that he was doing an MMA movie, I think called The Warrior, I think is what I read. And he got into it so much that he wanted to start competing a little bit. So he just decides to go do tournaments.
And he was raising money for a charity reorg that helps first responders and veterans.
But still, okay, you're looking across from you and there's Tom Hardy. Do you do your best to win?
I try to
Absolutely.
choke him
yeah.
unconscious. Absolutely. Because that's what he's there
Yeah,
for.
right.
I mean,
That's what he
you
wants.
to compete with him. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
entire point of the exercise, right?
There-
So it's like you're not trying to hurt each other, but you're trying to win a contest, just like when you used to wrestle.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going out to hurt somebody. You're going out to win.
Well, there are times. Let's
Let's not talk about those times.
Sometimes, things happen and you're just like, okay, I'm going to give as well as I just got.
Well, I disagree. I think they are going out there to hurt somebody under the assumption that their opponent is prepared for that.
I mean, not really.
It's
because
never-
this isn't
no.
a fist
You've never-
fight. So
you've
jiu-jitsu
never-
I mean,
is- if I put you, if we did it and you roll and you get in an arm bar, you tap and you don't get injured. So a lot of it is, if you get stuck in an arm bar and you're like, I'm not tapping, and your elbow pops out, well, that's your fault.
well, yeah.
The whole
There's
point
there's
of-
a simple way out of it, and it's just tap.
Well, I mean, that's
what I'm
it's
saying,
become
though.
part of the
It's-
lexicon. Everybody
Tim,
knows now.
Tim, I think there's a level of dissociation that comes with it too, where your mind is so much in the technicality of what you're doing, the moves, setting up for things and all that stuff. You're not going out there filled with rage trying
Well,
to
no, I'm
beat
not saying
someone
that
up.
you're filled with rage, but your mind is in competition mode, and so is the other opponent.
Well, wrestling and martial arts.
So whatever happens at that point, right?
wrestling and
Right, but
martial
you're not
arts.
attempting to hurt.
Yeah.
No,
them.
of
No.
course not. You're
That-
not going
that
out
was
there with the
point
sole
we were
intention
going
to
at.
hurt somebody, but
Actually, with no intention. All I
No,
want you to
yeah.
do is tap.
Yeah,
Right.
because otherwise
That's
this
it.
I
is-
want to beat you.
it's
Yeah, I just want
it's
you to
bad
tap.
sportsmanship to go out and try and hurt somebody.
Really,
Well,
what
yeah.
it's physical chess, because they teach you in wrestling and in martial arts to think 2 to 3 moves ahead. So you're thinking, if this guy does this, I'm going to do this, and if he does that, I'm going to do this. And you have to think 2 or 3 moves ahead.
And Alonzo, I misread that article, so I want to say you were right. He's 45. What I caught was it's the 36-year-old and up division,
Ah, okay.
which actually, to your point, makes it more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Because he was
competing
doing-
against guys 9 years younger than him.
And also, I mean, at least in MMA, like your mid-30s seems to be your prime
I
years.
mean, some guys have, with the advent of stem cells and things, guys are lasting longer. Randy Couture being the exception from back in the day, right? But at the end of in this jiu-jitsu, you can go longer. I mean, there's guys competing in the Abu Dhabis just a few weekends ago that were 40 years old, and they were in the gold and silver and bronze medal matches. So it can happen in jiu-jitsu.
So it's never
you're not
too late.
striking.
It's never too late to start, because there's no punching, right?
If Al Bundy can get his black belt in jiu-jitsu, any of us could if we
There
wanted
you
it.
go. I wonder if you and I are the only ones in this room or the other room who know who Al Bundy is.
I don't remember his name on the new sitcom. I feel ashamed, but
I've heard the name.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
watched it. He was a great football player back in his day.
I think he threw 4 touchdowns in a game.
I believe I've heard something like that.
I feel like these are references that we're not understanding.
Yeah, they're not. yeah, you don't get it.
Go sport ball.
Yeah. No, this was a white trash comedy technically, and
Maybe one of the greatest of all time.
yeah, possibly. Especially his daughter, who ended up Christina Applegate, who's been in a ton of things since then.
His wife Peg has been in
Yeah.
a ton of stuff as well.
So yeah, you guys might want to check that out, or might not.
Married with Children.
Yes, it was a pretty good show. Love and Marriage was the
Yep, that was the theme song. You
Yeah.
can Google up Al Bundy insults in your Google machine and
He looks familiar.
be prepared.
It was also in Wayne's World. He was.
That's where I've
Yeah.
seen him.
He's
Yep, that's where I've seen him.
vicious.
It was in Wayne's World. He
His
took over
insults
the
are the
camera
best.
and was like, only me and Garth get to talk to the camera.
I was like,
Yeah.
guy, he looks familiar.
Yeah. If you kill someone in the heat of passion. So anyway, That's what he said in Wayne's World. He ran the donut shop. He said he broke fourth wall and they had to take it away from him and said that he's not allowed to talk to the camera, which was pretty funny at the time.
That's a great gag. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of famous fighters, let us talk about who's coming to South Carolina Comic-Con Junior. And Will wrestling's not real. Well, yeah. I'd like to see you go up against this guy
neither
even
is
now.
Dragon
I
Ball.
won't say anybody that says that. I'll just go, you mean it's scripted?
Yeah, it's scripted. It's still real. People get hurt and they're in great shape and they can do things you can't do. So Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is going to be at South Carolina Comic-Con Junior next week.
Yes, he is. How crazy is that? Because Ricky's coming out of retirement.
Yeah, I can't. I
Next
mean,
month, he is going to have his last match. I think the rumor is it's going to be a tag match with FTR. It'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina. But
well, I was interested.
yeah, it's just the greatest tag team of
Yeah,
wrestling
whatever.
currently that Captain Contrarian has taped.
They're not tough guys.
But the
They lie. They say they don't come off the top of the rope. Every match I watch, they're off the top of the rope.
no flips, no, they don't say that. They say no flips.
Yeah, I just
flips, just
I just like truth. Even in my scripted stuff, I want truth. That's all.
Well, I tell you, Ricky coming back is going to be cool, and the opportunity to meet Ricky Steamboat is going to be awesome because he had reduced some of his touring, I think, but also Lex Luger. Both guys were huge in WCW and NWA that wrestled here for years, and be a really cool chance to hang out and meet them and get some autographs and pictures for folks.
Yeah, go up and ask Ricky what it was like to actually bring a dragon out with him. I believe it was at WrestleMania. I
That
think
was Komodo.
Was
Yeah,
it a real dragon?
Yeah, it was a Komodo dragon, but it's just like, I mean,
And then he learned how to breathe fire
yeah, he did that.
for WWE, and then he came back and won the belt that did matter, and he won the NWA World Championship from Ric Flair.
You know, that's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is one of those wrestlers you always hear about. Just whenever any of the wrestlers are doing homages or anything to anybody, he always comes up.
Yeah,
So,
one of their favorite guys to wrestle, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's good. It's going to be really cool to get to see him. And he's older, but he still looks like him. You know, a lot of guys, when they get older, they don't look like them anymore. He still looks like him.
He does, man. And you know, to think, it was the match at WrestleMania with Macho Man. It's on everybody's list, one of the greatest matches ever. The 3-match series where he won the title from Flair, that was huge. And the end of that actually led into the Terry Funk feud, which was also huge. That was a crazy year for Flair. But Ricky was just incredible. And for me growing up, being, the elder statesman, it was the tag team with Jay Youngblood against Sergeant Slaughter and Don Kernodle for the Mid-Atlantic titles, I think, back in that time period.
how often do you refer to yourself as the elder statesman?
I mean, I think it's fair because nobody else here is going to know who they are.
By the way,
I know, but that's
Cameron's
one-
computer, also known as my computer, has just crashed again.
It just
So
can't handle all this
it's
sexy.
just not. And I think we established that I'm older than you. So I mean, by a couple months.
Yeah,
So-
but I don't. Were you watching Mid-Atlantic back then? Did
No,
you know
I
those
was
guys?
not. I was
That's
not.
what I missed. See, so I still stand.
Yeah, you're right. No,
stand firm
you're
on
right.
this.
I wasn't watching it because it wasn't on TV.
Also,
Where
I was,
where I
but
was.
not where you were.
Where I was, yeah. This is back in the day when cable was just starting. It wasn't
I'll
everywhere.
give you a quick thing where if it
back
wasn't
in the
for
day,
if it wasn't for Ricky Steamboat, you wouldn't have WrestleMania. So here's how it happened. Ricky Steamboat, Jay Youngblood, Sergeant Slaughter, Don Kernodle, they're going to have this epic match. It's actually going to be on closed circuit. It was in Greensboro. And it was huge. It was so big, they estimated they could have sold out the arena twice. Whoever lost couldn't tag team together anymore. People loved it. They would stick with it. The thing would last, the stipulation, if you will. And when they did that, that got the Crockett's to create Starrcade, which was their big annual event that they could build their storylines towards. Starrcade was so big that Vince created WrestleMania. Starrcade actually came first.
I remember Starrcade for sure.
Yeah, it came before WrestleMania. WrestleMania was copying Starrcade.
Speaking of Vince, who's retired now, Triple H has taken over and doing a really good job making the product a lot more interesting. Speaking of that product, we need to pick some matches because WWE, WWE, no one pronounces W like you're supposed to.
Let's just call it
WWE.
We.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about to say.
Extreme
Let's call it
Rules
we.
is next week, but it's going to be going on during the show. So we need to pick it this week. And the loser will have to face the Nerf wall. We will get Rob.
Loser.
We'll get Rob Brown, rather, his so many Robs picks next
Please,
week.
please don't sully the
So,
Exalted Rob's
Yeah,
name.
you're right. The Exalted. So we're gonna get his picks next week. But for now, and Rob can pick with us. There's only a few matches, which makes it a lesser chance of losing. I don't know. We could have ties again. We love ties. Ties are awesome. Tim doesn't win.
Rob's on
ties.
my team.
Yeah,
So if he wins, then I'm
we're
exempt.
we're not tag teaming. That's not how that works. All right, so let's get to it really quick. All right, the first match is the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. All right, I will explain who the Brawling Brutes are.
That's
for-
my pick. I love that name.
For the listening audience. It won't help anybody in this room other than Cameron. All right, the Brawling Brutes are Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they're going up against Imperium, which is Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. So it is a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match because, you know, if you ever been in a Donnybrook before, Matthew, you ever been in a Donnybrook?
No,
I've been in a Donnybrook before.
I don't know what that is.
You ever been in a fracas?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, all right. I'm just checking.
He's like, why are you talking all that stuff?
Have you ever been in the midst of a gang war?
Wait, when you said fracas, did you mean fracas?
No, it's fracas.
Now I'm just imagining
I
Matthew
can
in
quote
like
a famous
Gangs of
movie
New
and
York
go,
style.
Can you
like,
describe the fracas? Anyway, who you got, Tim? Brawling Brutes or Imperium?
The Brawling Brutes.
All right, Matthew, who you got?
I'll go for Imperium.
You know, they seem like he would
definitely
yeah,
fit
he
in
would-
with Imperium.
He would like
I
Imperium.
could see him up there, like with the
Yes.
stance and everything.
I don't know what that is supposed to mean.
We'll show you during
I don't
the
know
break.
if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Honestly, that'll be up to your interpretation.
Gunther, formerly known as Walter, has the loudest, hardest chops in all of wrestling.
Instant bleed.
Yes, it's painful. All right, Cameron, who you got?
Honestly, this is a hard pick for me.
It really is. It's
because technically I kind of like both because of Sheamus. I'm going to go with Imperium.
all right, and
Well, it looks like I'm losing.
I'm
not the deciding vote.
all right. So Imperium doesn't normally lose, or let me say Gunther doesn't normally lose, but he's not. I mean, it's a triple match. So I'm going to go with the Brawling Brutes. Also, Rob Young. Who do you
Brawling
have?
Brutes.
All
Brawling
right.
Brutes.
All right, there we go.
Just the name alone.
I know,
It's
right?
good.
Doesn't it
It's
sound good?
alliteration.
All right.
Brawling Brutes.
All right,
I love it.
Edge versus Finn Balor and the I Quit match. There's a lot of things going on with Finn and Edge and Dominic Mysterio and the whole faction there going at each other. It's real personal. It's actually been pretty good. I'm shocked that it's been much better since Triple H took over. So I'm going to go first here, and I am going to go with Finn Balor. You know what? No, I changed my mind. You got to pick a winner, though, even though I don't think there's going to be one. Yeah, I'm going to go with Finn Balor. So here's how an I Quit match works. You got to say I quit, or you've got to be put unconscious. And there's a whole lot more guys on Finn's side. So I'm going to go with Finn winning the match. Rob, who you got?
I think Finn, because even though I don't watch WWE product a lot, I know Edge is he doesn't wrestle a ton, because of his neck injury. So it's kind of
He's on a retirement tour this time. He's going to retire his way this time. So
have they announced that?
I believe I read that. Yes.
Have they? So yeah, I say Finn. Say Finn.
All right, Matthew, who you got?
I'll go with Finn.
All right, Cameron.
I'm also going to go with Finn.
Wow. Okay.
Not trying to, follow the.
No, it's all right. It's
herd
all
and
right.
whatnot.
All right.
I decided that before you all made your choices. I thought that I liked his name better.
Okay. All right. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. All right. So the guys don't know, a strap match is basically they're hitting each other with a really long leather belt.
Did Tim pick his choice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He picked Braun. He went first.
No, I didn't.
No.
The second one.
That's the first round. The second round here. You didn't give him. For
Oh,
this.
I
Yeah.
did. And you're right.
Who was the other guy?
Edge or Finn Balor?
I'll go against the grain. I'll
All
go
right,
for that.
all right. Thank you for catching
You
that.
should have just let it go and go. Clearly, there's no way that I'm disqualified.
Yeah,
from
that's
losing
it.
this
That was
contest.
my plan. That was
Oh
my
no,
plan.
he's going on that chopping block. I'm making sure of that.
So my problem is I'm counting 4 when there are actually 5 people picking. My bad. All right, so Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. Matthew, who do you got?
Say again, who is it?
Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross.
I'll go with McIntyre.
All right, Cameron
I'm going with Karrion Kross.
and Tim
Karrion Kross.
and Rob.
Does Karrion Kross lose?
Uh-oh.
I don't think he's only wrestled a couple matches since he's been back, and no, he has not lost.
Right,
Uh-oh.
because that's what they did with him in NXT. It was like he was like this monster.
Yeah, but then he came up to the main
But
roster,
then
and
they just jobbed him, and
Yeah.
now they have to go the other way. Or
Yeah.
it's-
Oh, I
it's
didn't
wasted
know that
again.
was I didn't know that background. Can I change my choice?
he is on fire right
Nope.
now. So yeah, choices are. In the interest of time, we got to hurry. So
Karrion.
all right, so I am also going with Karrion. Don't worry, Matt. You've never been on the wall. You're not going to be on there. I mean, you
Well,
know.
of course not. But
All right, Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. This is in a fight pit match. So they're basically fighting in an octagon. And Matt Riddle has MMA background. He was actually in the UFC for a little bit.
Why do you think you're going to say snake pit fight?
No, it's not snake pits. It's actually supposedly a fight pit. Seth Rollins delivers every time. I don't like him, but I don't like his character. But he's a big time guy when it's in a pay per view. But I am going to go with Matt Riddle because bro. All right, Tim.
I want to go with Seth Rollins.
Look at you going against the grain. All right, Matthew
I'll go with Rollins.
and Cameron.
I'm going to go with Riddle because I think he's due one.
All right, and Rob.
I got Riddle. By the way, he was 8-3 in MMA
Really?
Yeah, he was.
at the highest levels at the time. I mean, he was a really good fighter.
Yeah, and if you look at what he does, and he brings some legitimacy to wrestling. Whenever they bring in someone who's an MMA guy who uses some of their moves, and you can tell that he probably will whip your butt for real.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. All right, 2 more matches, and then we got to take a break because we're way late.
Yes.
I know we'll combine. Liv Morgan, who is presently the women's champion, going up against for SmackDown, going up against Ronda Rousey, and it's in an Extreme Rules match. Which it's at Extreme Rules, so you got to have some of those matches. So Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. Cameron, who you got?
I think I'm going to go. Well, who's champ? Well, Liv's
Liv's the champion. Yes.
I think I'm going to go Ronda Rousey.
All right, Matthew.
I'm gonna stick with the champion.
All right, Tim.
I always pick Ronda Rousey. I'm going to go opposite this time.
Okay, and Rob.
Rousey.
All right.
She's rowdy.
And I also am
That she is.
going with Ronda, although I like Liv as champion better because she actually has some personality. Ronda just likes to hurt people, which is not entirely a bad thing. All right, and finally, Bianca Belair, who is the champ, versus Bayley in a ladder match for the Raw Women's title. And I'm going to go first here. Bianca's had a title for quite some time, and when she lost it the first time to Becky 2 belts or whatever you want to call her, the man who's not a man, it doesn't matter. When she lost it in like 26 seconds, she got it back after a long journey, but she's had it for a good point of time. It's time for someone else to have the belt. I'm going with Bayley to win this. Cameron, who you got?
I also got Bayley.
All right, Matt.
I was also going to go with Bailey.
All right, Tim.
I was going to go with Bayley.
And finally, Rob.
Fine, Bailey.
Okay, fine.
But
All the
I
way
was going to
around.
go with Bayley. But I was going
All
to
right,
go with
we're
Bayley.
going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to squeeze in as many things we possibly can because, you listen to the Upstate Pulse right on 106.3 WORD, continuing live on a bunch of places.
I feel like it
Fun
works.
because it comes ooh, cool. Oh,
Just goes along with the Scooby Doo thing.
we're gonna be on the radio.
All right, so
I was going to pull like a wanted, like spin it.
it's about 4 minutes. Of
course, I can only throw things if they're sharp.
48.
Apparently, yes.
So we'll just
I make the joke, but I'm not wrong.
No,
I can't
because
do blunt
not until
objects.
3 for lightning round, remember?
Because
Come back when
I
you're round table.
there's a
And then have lightning round and standby.
at the Renaissance Festival, I've like bullseyed like 5 things in a row with like shuriken,
All right, done.
and I can also do.
Yes,
darts
Trey, I
decent.
believe Riddle got in trouble
did.
because
Why
he
can I
liked
only
weed
do
too
things
much.
when they're deadly?
I do believe that's what
With
happened.
Garrett's, my son's girlfriend, Carly, we had gone to the Renaissance Fair. She'd never been. And so she challenged me to shoot bow and arrow, which I had not done. And I don't have 30 years. And so we line it up. And,
Yeah, because we
and
played it enough.
She shoots something and it's my turn. The first
Right
one is a
now,
dead bullseye.
Some of that is
She
in there
goes,
just so we have an extra
"Whoa,
minute or so
whoa."
so we can talk to
And-
people
and
on
I
the
shot
stream.
out of my mind, and I haven't done this in forever. I just didn't overthink it, I guess. And so that is a constant joke.
Hey,
with us.
Chris,
What,
thank you
wanna
for
have a
playing
contest? What's
along.
your
He
bow and
made all
arrow,
his
Rich?
picks also. Appreciate that. Sorry I didn't see that, but we were pressed for
Jerk.
time. We had 2 breaks to
Yeah.
take.
You were a
and-
ringer.
and,
Y'all play along too. Yeah, on the in the chat. Let us know who you
and on the
think is
text
gonna-
line.
If I ever go again, I'll try more of those booths and see what else I got.
I saw Trey Davis's comment on the chat here. Riddle did like
Yeah, I
Everybody-
just mentioned
he
that. yeah.
liked the inhaled anti-inflammatory. I think that's the
Is that the official name?
what's the official name? Yes, I think that was the issue. Now they don't really
the
get
more,
into
the more
them with that,
interaction
but
we have in the chat, and the more we get circulation. So please do that. Actually,
pretty cool. When Nick Diaz beat Takanori
Oh,
Gomi
let's see
in
Mikey.
Pride, when Gomi was huge, he beat him with a go-go plata, which if you look that up, it's what the Undertaker called Hell's Gate.
in my back pocket.
Oh,
Was a go-go plata. And it's a move from guard where you basically lock their throat across your shin, then you lock it down and choke them
is
out.
that
with it.
technically a triangle or is that?
Circulation.
or am I
It is not
Shin.
because your head is inside the legs in a
Gotcha.
triangle. It's outside the legs.
She probably will,
Like a
Trey.
go-go
You're probably
plata.
right. She
But
probably will
Nick beat
win because
Gomi with that.
of that.
And then popped for so much marijuana that you're like, what were you doing?
Yeah, I
I
tied.
didn't like you smoked
But a
it this
tie
morning.
is
Like,
when it's a
the
tie,
room must have looked like
no
it was
one
on
has to
fire
face the
before
box.
you walked out for the
So
fight.
it's-
Like his levels were so high.
so a tie.
He
I
had to
think
become
also
And people were making the
continues
argument
my losing
that
streak, though. At least I
you
hope
don't
so,
hurt.
because I don't want to start all over again. If I lose
Now,
5
your
in a row,
reflexes could conceivably be slow. a
then
little, but for
we
jiu-jitsu,
stop
a
with
lot of
the.
guys
Because
will get
it's
high to
it's
roll. They feel like
unfair.
it makes them more
I'm going up
creative for
against the guy who
submissions and
makes
things.
bets all the time.
But you also don't hurt as much.
Is that inquiry? Is that how?
So
So
I
it's still an
pronounce
unfair
that right?
advantage to a degree.
That's what they decided because they disqualified him.
You're looking at
Call it
me
a
like I know.
contest, I
You
guess.
need to be able to
asking the
hurt.
stream.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
like everybody else.
Well, I mean, it's a deterrent, right? It makes you do things different.
Absolutely.
Circulation.
I watched
man.
Mikey Musumeci fought last night in jiu-jitsu thing over in a 1FC, which is different than the UFC. It comes out of Singapore, but they'll have kickboxing, MMA, and jiu-jitsu on the same card.
I think it's 6-3 Clemson,
It's pretty
Chris.
fun,
I think that's what I
right?
just
So
saw.
if you
I
just
know
like
they just
combat
scored,
sports,
but I think it's
Well,
just
it's a
been
good variety,
field
for
goals.
sure.
right? And he won their belt for submission grappling.
Is that still like an international thing or is that
Yeah,
like most,
It airs on, believe it or not, they're going to be airing
may
a
not
card a
do
month
lightning round.
on Amazon. It's free.
Because
You have Amazon Prime.
Huh?
interesting?
You ought to look up
Okay.
Mikey Musumeci. It's Darth
I heard the
Rigatoni
important part.
is his
Yeah.
nickname.
So if
feel
you
like that
hear me
means he's a little
call
mean.
for it, and
He
call
likes
for
to
it.
eat.
But if not,
He
don't
eats
worry
one
about
meal
it.
a day. It's pizza or pasta.
Yeah,
They
no
estimate it
Roundtable.
between 6,000 and 7,000 calories. But all he does
All right,
is
we're
roll
gonna-
jiu-jitsu 12 hours.
Probably only talk about one thing in the roundtable anyway, and then we're going to talk some more Comic-Con. All right. So we don't have a lot of time right now because we're having so much fun. So there's just one thing I want to ask in the Nerd Roundtable. I don't know if you guys, I know you guys heard the news, but maybe someone at home didn't hear the news that Ryan Reynolds actually got Hugh Jackman to come back and play Wolverine.
I did hear this.
Is
Yes.
it too late? do you guys believe, like I believe, that you're going to see him in one scene and that's it? Or do you really think this is going to be a movie?
I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, Matthew, why do you not think that's going to happen?
So if you see in the trailer that they're doing, they showed the logo for Deadpool 3, where they used the 3 being the claw marks. If they're putting that much emphasis on it, they're not going to put him in just one little scene. They're going to make him a prominent character in the movie. Otherwise, there is going to be an insane amount of outrage and boycotting of the movie. They're going to lose money if they don't do that.
I don't think they'll be boycotting. It's Deadpool. Did you watch the first 2?
Oh yeah.
That's why it wouldn't shock me if they troll everybody and he's like in one scene.
Not to mention that Ryan Reynolds is a really good businessman. I don't think he would settle for anything less.
Well, but what if it's
that's something-
farewell as Wolverine?
Well, he already died in Logan,
Well,
and they've
clearly
Logan
he's
was
not,
supposed
'cause
to
he's
be
in
his
Deadpool
farewell to
3.
the
well,
character.
they clarified that that's in like 2050 something.
Well,
or something
they
like that.
also
So-
kinda
so
have
that
the-
was in the future. That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So he's still going to die.
Also, a
I
future of a parallel universe,
Yeah,
possibly.
because at the end of Days of Futures Past, he goes to the future, doesn't he? And like lives
that's
there
all right.
with Jean and all them.
No.
That's a
The
different
X-Men
universe.
timeline is a
but
different
ignore
thing.
those movies and please, if you've not read it, read the John Byrne run of X-Men that includes Days of Future Past. Anybody, it's amazing. And
Okay.
It's so much better.
Did they get it? Did they get it wrong in the movie?
Wrong isn't even close.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
I
it's-
will.
it's
I
such a
will
good
research
story.
that.
When
then.
wrong's an understatement, that's pretty
All
bad.
right, so I got to say, I'm just putting it out there. They probably will have him during the entire movie. And those guys have been going at it forever on social media. You can tell they're good buddies. So it's probably going to be
Yeah.
a pretty good movie. Don't take your kids. But it's also under a different umbrella as far as, what's being made. It's under the Disney umbrella, is my understanding. And how much will they say they're not going to pull it back? They say it's going to still be rated R. How will Disney go? No,
Well,
not that.
Ryan, I think, has a piece of the pie on this. That was the deal on the first one, was it got made because he had a piece of the pie. So I'm curious if he's involved, it's going to be what he wants, or he just wouldn't do it. He doesn't need the money.
All right.
I would
So,
imagine.
yeah.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah. Speaking of money,
Texter writes, guys, don't forget Deadpool has Cable's time traveling device.
he does.
Oh yeah.
And
Hey,
it-
that's a great point, Texter.
It's a great
He
point.
just pops out at the end of Logan. It's like, oh, that's so sad. Let's fix this.
Yeah, well, he could do something like that. The movie could start that way. You just
Oh, yeah.
don't know.
He's,
with
he's
them.
having a
knows?
monologue over Logan's dead corpse.
So
Oh, that would be so horrible, but also so funny.
The
It'd be on point
speculation-
with him.
the speculation online is that he's finally going to get a good check. Talking about Hugh Jackman, and I guess is right. I'm not happy with Disney right now. So because Disney has decided to pull Disney, ESPN, SEC Network, ACC Network off of Dish Network this morning, right before football started. They pulled it off of Dish Network, which I have Dish Network. So a bunch of football I did not get to watch. And if you watch, whenever someone's pulled off of a service like Dish Network, the CEO will leave a message. According to the CEO, is Disney wants $1 billion for them to keep airing all the stuff on Dish Network, and he says that's because they failed as a business model to with the Disney subscription series, that people aren't buying enough of it, so they're trying to make up their money by overcharging everybody else. And so it's going to be interesting to see.
That's the message from the CEO.
That's the message from the CEO. Yeah.
I like
Right.
this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was like, oh, okay. So now we're going to see. And if I recall, Disney is saying that that's not true. And the Disney CEO also, or the Dish CEO said he talked to Disney and asked them, could they extend while they negotiated? And Disney said no. And he said, what they're trying to do, they're trying to make you think that it's our fault and make you come at us and beg us to put it back on. But this is not us, it's them. So
nobody believes Disney.
yeah, so it's going to be interesting. But the fact that he come right out and said that the Disney subscription service is a failure and they're trying to make up for money everywhere else. And the thing is, they're putting a lot of money into all the shows, even though we love a ton of the shows, including all the Marvel stuff like WandaVision and Hawkeye and Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki,
Well, I was
Hammer
as
guy
well
from
as all the
Andor.
Star Wars stuff.
I was thinking the same thing this texter wrote. He says, texter writes, guys, hopefully Disney won't ruin it. Like, Star Wars.
Well, they put the
They
worst
did do
person
that.
in
They did the
world
same
in charge of
thing.
it, like the worst person.
They did.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and she
Hand it to Favreau and make $100 billion
Yes,
off of it.
because they
Yeah.
would, because he knows him and Dave Filoni, they know what they're doing. Except for Boba Fett. What a mistake that was. And
I
here's
liked it.
what I think.
Boba
I
Fett
think
was not all bad.
here's what I think. I think they lost so much money on the high speeder chase and Boba Fett that they're having to overcharge everybody else to make up for that money. Because man, that was
Well,
I
I mean, they said-
Vespa scooter things.
Yeah, the Vespa. All right, the Vespa things were the weakest point of that entire series. But
They were
They
hilarious.
said the
Yes.
same thing about Star Wars
and
that
the
they
other thing
said
is
about Deadpool. Like
Boba
they were,
could have just used his jetpack and just got the guy instantly. It's not like you needed. He just was tired. He's like, I'm going to see how these
maybe he was out of
cybernetic
gas.
No, they took one of the coolest things from Star Wars: The Old Republic, the game. One of the coolest things, those bikes.
Those aren't swoop bikes, so those are Vespas.
No. Yeah, they are. They are. They took the coolest thing, they put it on screen and made it lame. And that's why they have to overcharge everybody. All right, instead of going to lightning round, we got a couple more minutes. We want to remind you that next week is South Carolina Comic-Con Junior. For those who weren't here, Rob, what is it? How much does it cost? Where is it?
October 9th, Greenville Convention Center, 11 to 6, $15. 10 ages 10 and under free with a paying adult. 40,000 square feet of geekiness. Tons of comic guys there, guys that have not been to the show before, like Tony Harris and Dan Fraga. And then also Ricky Steamboat, Lex Luger, the Ghostbusters, the 501st. We'll have 2 Ghostbuster mobiles, I believe, there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's family friendly and easy to get in and out of. So check out the website, scomicon.com, or check SC Comicon on Facebook or Instagram. You can get a big highlight there.
All right. So if you haven't been, we talked about the fact that you can actually pick stuff up, the things that you're going to buy as opposed to ordering it online. Another cool thing is, if you've always wondered what's a proton pack look like in real life, the Ghostbusters, they're carrying those, and you can see those. Also, if you want to see what Stormtrooper armor or Mandalorian armor really looks like in person, you get to see the 501st there, and those guys make their own armor. We've had them on the show before.
And it's screen accurate.
Yeah, they make their
crazy.
own armor.
wow.
It has to be screen accurate.
Oh, wow, dude. I'm excited about that one.
And it's very cool. I still would like to make my own armor because I want to be like that real big Mandalorian. He got his butt whipped, but still,
He held his own.
that dude's armor was really, really cool.
You do get that was actually Favreau in the armor, right?
No way.
That's
No way. That guy was too tall to be Favreau. I don't think Favreau's that tall. He might
If you're
be.
6 feet tall, you're huge in Hollywood.
Well,
also
that's true.
Pedro
That's a
Pascal
good
isn't
point.
that tall, I don't think.
That is a good point. I mean, look at Tom Cruise. I am curious though. I haven't asked Matthew, have you been to a Comic-Con before?
Oh yeah, I've been to plenty of conventions, including SC Comicon.
There we go. Okay. Well, Matthew is new to the show.
Thank you, sir.
So I just
but
want to
not
make
new
sure
to
that-
the nerd life.
That's right. That's right. He has been around for a while doing that nerd thing. All right. So again, next Sunday, 11 to 6, come out, have some fun at South Carolina Comic-Con. You will see some, if not all of us there. Come up and say hi. We'll say hi. Don't expect extended conversation with me because my mind will go blank. But I remember,
But you can have extended conversations with his manager.
yeah, as long as it's not Pappy and as long as it's Cameron. I will tell you, last year I lost everybody for a minute because it happens. And I was standing, doing the text thing, hoping someone will look at their text going, here's where I am. Because sometimes the best thing to do is just stand still. And a listener come up and started talking to me. And it was really cool. I know I keep joking about, I can you can get a couple sentences out of me. You can, because I'm in a place of comfort and you can too. So you need to come to South Carolina Comic-Con Junior next week. Also, want to thank everybody for being, Chris wants to talk to Pappy. No, you don't.
Nah.
No, you don't. You do not. If he goes Pappy in the middle of South Carolina Comic-Con Junior, it could be a problem. Because, paparazzi and stuff. Thank you for listening to the show. Make sure
TMZ.
Make sure you check out the con next week and make sure you tune into this show next week. And we had a blast. And
Thanks for having me, guys.
there you go. Always. And yeah, let's have a good weekend, everybody.
If you want to answer Trey Davis in your chat, Stephen Thompson, I was trying to find a way to work it in, but we just ran out of time. Stephen Thompson is training to fight again.
Yeah, he's still fighting.
Yeah, he's training to fight again. You just want to do that so to keep him, be cool with him.
Yeah, and Steve, I've interviewed Stephen before.
Oh, he and his dad, really his brother, everybody there. They've been to our store for blood drives, and they refused to cut the line. They stood in line with everybody else.
And my question I asked Stephen last time I talked to him is, why is he so patient? Why can't he just be a little more aggressive and get in there and because I'm
It's not his style.
I know.
It's not like you haven't
Well,
asked that
but-
question of anybody else before.
But like I told him, I was like, I'm screaming at the screen. There it is. Do it. And you just kind of sit back and, and yeah, patient style is not my favorite. I do root for Stephen, but I get frustrated. Yeah, I've heard he is from everything I've heard and I've gotten to talk to him and everything, Trey, he is really cool.
Great guys.
Yes.
We went to Simpsonville and I've chatted with Ray a good bit, and we're getting pictures of the family with Steven for something they did out there. And Ray goes, "Hey Rob, get in the picture. I'll take the pictures for you." And he grabs my phone, and when I get my phone back, I have all these goofy faces of Ray. He comes across as this like mean, there's all these goofy pictures of him in my phone on selfie mode. Then the pictures of us.
That is
He was
hilarious.
cutting up, making faces, and this dude won like tough man contest when there basically were no rules and everything else. He's a fantastic guy. Great dude.
All right. Hey, Tim, say goodbye to stream.
Goodbye to the stream.
Bye, everybody.
Say goodbye, Cameron. Say goodbye, Matthew.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks
So long.
thanks for all the interaction.
Farewell.
As always, you guys are awesome. That was almost
That's-
harmony. That's kind of freaky.
That's like
Yeah.
deep harmony. That's
No, it's like
monotone.
Three Stooges harmony.
I think my wife's
Oh.
outside.